All right. Testing. What is up to the crew? I do believe we are live, and I see the crew is here before the time. Let's go, Run Seeker. Welcome. Ghazali in the building. Samuel M. Abdullah in the building. Welcome. Husseini. We've got OGs here, so please confirm if you can hear my voice loud and clear. It's time to get it. We've got a very hot stream, very important stream tonight. So invite your friends, invite your families, your uncles, your aunties, your nieces. Let's get it. We're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at a couple of different scenarios there and some TA. We're then going to go into a beginner tutorial on moving averages. I've been growing the crew. We're getting there. Make sure you look at the crypto trading tutorials playlist. Make sure you're up to date. They're not going to stop. They're going to keep coming. It is my duty. It is my mission to have a university course on crypto trading in this YouTube channel, and make sure you keep up or you will be left behind. Of course, then we're going to look at some market charts, and actually the whole point of today's stream, tonight's stream, is to look at altcoins. We're going to try look at every single one of our positions, as well as possibly open some new positions. So thank you everybody for being here. Drop me a message, let me know if you are here. What up Mikey? And let's get it. We've got a brand new intro. Welcome to the building. Let's keep it hot and let's go. Alright. Thank you everybody for joining. Please confirm if you can hear my voice loud and clear. If you can see my screen. Is the music too loud? Is the music good? Are we good to go? Can we roll? And what did you think of my new intro? We're keeping it hot on this channel. Alright, let's move straight into some TA on Bitcoin. We have no time to waste today. I have a whole lot that I want to get through. I don't even want to tell you how many altcoins we're going to look at today, because it's going to make you a little bit scared. Also, let me know how the visuals are looking. We do have a new webcam. I see it's a little bit glitchy in the back. We'll hook up a green screen here soon, but I think we're good to go. I think we're clear. Please confirm if you can see my charts. Alright, beautiful. MV in the building, nice and clear. You are here. Let's go. Welcome, Sabir. Lovely to have you. Ike is in the building. Beautiful stuff. I do believe we are live across the platforms. Alright, thank you everybody for being here. Are the beats too loud? Is everything cool? Are we good to roll? Let's head straight into Bitcoin. Mr. Miguel Dos Santos, let's go, my brother from another mother. Thank you for joining, Miguel. I'm so glad to have you here, because you know what? This crew needs all the help we can get in these bloody times. And I do think this is one of the best opportunities that we're actually seeing in years. So we have to act, right? We have to get greedy. We have to get greedy when everyone is super fearful. But of course, we have to manage our risk. All right, everything perfect. Husseini's here, Desmond's here. We got the OG crew in the building. Lovely to see. All right, thank you so much everybody for joining. And of course, please do smash that like button. We are going to do a giveaway at 50 likes. And you know what? For the people who are here from the beginning, I'm gonna drop the first letter in the password right now. It is a capital B. I'm going to drop it right now in the chat. It is a capital B. Please do not drop the whole code once I drop more letters. This is your golden ticket to the giveaway. And once we hit 50 likes, I will drop the entire password and you will be able to get the giveaway. The giveaway is for anybody under my link who watches the whole stream and gets the whole password. We're also doing another giveaway on this video right here, so I'll also drop that link. But basically, the best question asked on this video will win a giveaway. And this is my way of forcing y'all to learn. So the best question that you ask on my latest tutorial will also win a giveaway. I can give away some merch if you want. I have a suitcase full of Bybit merch. Alright, let's get into the TA. Thank you everybody for joining. Please do smash that like button and let's move. Alright, so first off the bat, what I want to do is actually look at our larger market structure. So best when you come to the charts to always zoom out, right? It is only due diligence that we do to zoom out on the charts to be able to give ourselves a larger perspective. One of the most important things in life is perspective. Most of us know this, right? You have to zoom out or you'll get bogged down with the details. You will get confused with all of the smaller details. And what we can see right now on larger market structure is, of course, our previous cycle that we actually learn from, right? History does not always repeat itself, but in crypto, in stocks, it does tend to rhyme. All right, current market cycle. Here is our bottom, round around $15,000. Here we see a high. Here we see a higher low. Here we see a higher high, higher low, higher high, and now what is going to happen? This is where it gets important now. Are we going to see a higher low in this zone, or are we going to see a lower low? All right, very important. If we see a lower low, this would be a break of market structure. If we see a low that comes in below this zone, this would be a technical break of market structure, and this would mean that we are now entering a downtrend and a bear market. If we are able to put in a low on this swing anywhere above this low, this would mean a continuation of trend to the upside, and the trend is your friend until the end. All right, lovely to have everybody here. Please confirm for me again. Everything is loud and clear. Lovely to see everybody. Next FX in the building. Thank you for joining, brother. And make sure you open the Discord, open the live stream charts in the Discord. We are going to do a whirlwind of alts. We're going to do more alts than we've ever done in one stream tonight. So please, if you have any ideas on any altcoins for brilliant trades, and keep it to the high market cap coins, right? All right, let's go. Keep it hard in the chat. Bitcoin will test the lower support again. All right, which support are you talking about? We have been speaking about basically local highs acting as support. Okay, we see this quite often. We see a previous local high giving us support. So yes, in my opinion, I think Mr. Bitman does agree with me. We may come to test this zone of support right here, and actually this entire liquidity zone right here. There are a few levels of confluence there, and even now on the monthly time frame, we can see the first level of confluence being the fact that this was significant resistance. And now that significant resistance could turn into significant support, right? That is not too complicated to see. Mr. Abdullah in the building. All right, thank you for joining, everybody. Please do not hesitate to ask me your questions. I know we've got OG traders in the house, so also let me know, of course, if you have any interesting ideas on the charts. Let's from here go straight down to the weekly. And on the weekly, one of the most important things that I'm looking at right now is, of course, our Fibonacci retracement from the previous trend, right? There are two major Fibonacci retracements I want to look at tonight, which are, for me, the most important things we can look at. The first retracement is from our previous range low, right over here at $55,000. That acted, of course, as boom, a triple bullish divergence that sent us into a parabolic uptrend. And we're going to talk about this here. We're going to talk about, is this accumulation? Is this distribution? Is this manipulation? What's going to happen here? But first, let's just understand what happened from the previous range. Previous range, we saw this low. We saw beautiful fixed range volume profile. And basically, if we draw a fixed range volume profile from all the way at the bottom of the previous range to the top, we can see that it was an absolute gold mine on the shorts to the longs, on the shorts to the longs, boom, boom, boom. Outperform the market, make money as you go. And then of course our long went parabolic and our hedge short got stopped out. We're not going to get too bogged down. We've been through lots of this Bitcoin TA already, and today we are actually going to focus on altcoins. But keep your eyes peeled on my crypto trading tutorials playlist, because during this week coming, I will be dropping the fixed range volume profile tutorial. All right, so basically we saw that our last low, and our lowest low on candle bodies from our previous range was right here. We can also see that we had a break of market structure right here. This was our candle body top of this trend. Once we identify that, we can of course put in our Fibonacci retracement to see where our major support levels will be. If you do not know how to use Fibonacci, please go to my crypto trading tutorials, watch my Fibonacci video. I do believe it is all laid out there for you. And thank you to everybody who has been supporting me through all of the hard work. Y'all make it worth it when you like my videos, when you share my videos, and of course when you comment with such beautiful feedback. Alright, so from the low of the trend to the top of the trend, we pull out our Fibonacci and we can very clearly see just how significant these levels are. Even on the weekly, absolute beautiful significance at the 0.5 level. I do believe quite a few of my crew agree with me, right, that there is a massive opportunity for a beautiful trade from this golden pocket level. Of course, we do not have to find that level, but very, very often in a Fibonacci retracement, that will be the level. This is why we call it the golden pocket. And let's actually draw this into our chart now. Let's keep it simple on Bitcoin today. But this is, of course, one of the major levels we are looking at for a reaction to the upside on Bitcoin if we do start to come down. Mr. Craig Wayne, let's go. Returning subscriber, lovely to have you in the building. And please do let me know any questions, any of your analysis. Let's keep it hot. Do you think it's the right time to trade for beginners? So right now, I do believe the market is in a phase of both manipulation as well as depression. So this is one of the most difficult times that you can trade as a beginner, right? And actually, I would direct you to your demo account during this time if you are a beginner, so that you can practice in these crazy times of high market volatility so that you don't get wrecked. And I'm actually going to talk about all of that in my moving averages tutorial shortly. All right, let's keep it quick. Let's keep it simple on Bitcoin. If we come up from the 0.5 level, this has been known to happen at times, right? If the market is overpumped, if there is massive fundamental bullish news that comes in, we can move up from the 0.5 level. It has been known to happen. We have seen it happen. Let's have a look here from the bottom to the top. There we actually saw a front run of this level, and it was a 0.382 all the way from the bottom. Very, very nice. Let's have a look from this level. There we can actually see not even the 0.5 was touched. If we come from this bull flag right here with our Fibonacci retracement, this is where we do see, of course, a beautiful golden pocket triple bounce. Ba-ba-ba-boom, ba-ba-ba-boom, shwam. All the way up. Always a good idea to cluster your Fibonacci's. All right, everyone's very quiet. I hope you are focusing, but keep that chat hot. Let me know how you're feeling, and of course, smash those likes so that we can actually get to our giveaway nice and quickly. All right, nice. We're moving towards the giveaway. Very nice. I see we're doing well for the likes. All right, so let's actually just keep that in right now so we can just remember as we're zooming in where our golden pocket is sitting. Very easy to draw in. Just draw in a nice green rectangle between your 0.618 and your 0.786 to give you a golden pocket. You can also very easily, of course, just add golden pocket. Boom, so you know what's happening. All right, from there, I just want to keep it real with two more Fibonacci's. Right, the first one is an extension. We've looked at this many times before, and this is our little bit of hopium. This is our little bit of bullish technical analysis that is keeping us sane right now. And you know, the reason why we dollar cost average into Bitcoin is, of course, this is an extremely bullish chart in the long term. As we can see, all the way from zero, we do have a parabolic up curve, which is not going anywhere. Of course, we get our overbought regions. Of course, we get our oversold regions. But in general, Bitcoin is in a parabolic uptrend. And this is one of the reasons why DCA is indeed my favorite strategy. And one of the funniest comments was absolutely beautiful. Okay, it wasn't even the comment that won, but it was the comment that came second in the funniest comment giveaway. The comment that won was beautiful. It was from Mr. Troy Ogden, and it was, what's DCA's favorite exercise in the gym? And that is lunges. Buying the dip on every lunge, slowly getting stronger. I really like it. But actually, I think my personal favorite was so funny, and it was DCA is like something like a successful marriage or dating successfully, right? Take it step by step. Do not propose on the first date. Get to know the market. Get to know the relationship. Absolutely awesome and very true. All right, so what I want to show you here is the Fibonacci extension. And this is very important to keep in mind. All right, on our previous market, this is our previous market cycle right here. From the bottom to the top to the bear market bottom. Now we want to try figure out how high are we going? Is this the end? This could be the end. If we really break market structure here, we could see a bear market. But we need to know the hidden levels. We need to use the Fibonacci. Fibonacci extension, most of you will know. I hope you've watched my tutorial. Basically, we come from bear market bottom to bull market top, all the way down to the pivot at the next bear market bottom, and you pull it all the way out. And what we can see when we do that are some very, very interesting levels. First of all, we can see that we have slightly front run this 1.618. We might get a lot of resistance roundabout here at 115k, and we haven't managed to hit it yet. The next important thing that it's showing us, and this is the bullish hopium for the masses, is that we have this beautiful 2.618 level sitting roundabout 175,000, depends how you draw it, $180,000. And this is the kind of level we could work towards if we continue with our bullish market structure to the upside. All right, so that's a little bit of a breakdown on market structure. Always please make sure you do zoom out. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit now, but we're really gonna keep it simple today. And I see the crew is hopping on. Thank you so much everybody for joining. Please do smash that like button and let me know your comments in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling. Do not let me speak at the crew, right? Do not be a lurker in my chat. Desmond, let's go. Welcome, welcome, brother. Beautiful to have you. All right, so the next thing I want to look at is, of course, our daily time frame. And this is where things start to get really, really interesting. I've been having this chat with Husseini. I'm not sure how I feel about this, and if you are a beginner, do not let this confuse you, because this next little bit of information can be slightly confusing. Alright, but for the OGs, I have been talking to Husseini about the possibility that this was actually an accumulation phase and a potential bull flag, just like we saw in this previous range. Right, we have now seen 3 bull flag accumulation phases on Bitcoin that have broken to the upside. Number 1, boom, right here, bull flag reached its target. Number 2, right here, massive bull flag reached its target. And then number 3, we saw this upward sloping zone. Very, very simple parallel channel. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing. Is this parallel channel, was this a supply zone, right? Was this distribution, or was this actually another accumulation zone? And this is just an impulse move to manipulation towards an actual move up to distribution. And Migs, I want your OG analysis on this. Do you think this has sense to it? And this comes from Husseini. Husseini, I know you're watching. So say what's up, and massive shout out to you. This is a really interesting idea. And basically what Husseini is saying is that this was actually an accumulation zone. But then the whales decided to shake out all of the retail that was accumulating here at these high prices and basically wreck everybody who put their life savings into crypto for the first time at these levels. And the whales said, hey, you know what? If you're new to crypto, sorry. If you didn't buy at 50k, sorry, we're gonna wreck you and we're gonna show you what the crypto industry is like. Alright, and this is called paying your dues. This is called time in the market. And this is why we dollar cost average. I know personally the story. Someone contacted me and they said they started buying with their life savings at this level. They continuously bought, and by the end of this parallel channel, they had actually poured 20 years of life savings into Bitcoin and altcoins. At this point, they started to see their entire life savings going down, down, down. And of course, what happened? They started to fear. And they did the actual worst possible thing they could have done. They entered into even more risk by taking what was left and putting it in futures, right? Into a short position roundabout here. Then what happened? The short position went against them. And instead of holding to their guns, adding to their short position like a seasoned trader, what did they do? They flipped long on their high leverage position with the rest of their savings. And what happened? Boom, they got liquidated. Boom, they got wrecked. Boom, they saw 20 years of life savings go from the top, boom, 30% down. And this is a massive learning that I want to give to anybody who is new in this market, right? Give yourself time in the market, pay your dues. Do not think that you can make quick money overnight, because as soon as you start to think that, you are setting yourself up to get wrecked. If they had have just bought dollar cost average amounts, they would still have most of their liquidity on the side to buy at these beautiful lower levels. And this is a learning to everyone to respect the dollar cost averaging strategy, because that is the OG Warren Buffett strategy. All right, I'm preaching. Keep the chat hot, y'all. All right, I'd say it was accumulation. The analysis seems right. Interesting. It does actually seem like an accumulation zone. I would say Husseini has something interesting there, right? Whales accumulating. It actually looks like almost like a retail accumulation zone. And then the whales said, you know what? This was the big short. Market Cypher called it literally to the dollar. It said, we are going short. And this was the massive learning for us. Do not close the short position on your hedge strategy. Never close the short position. There is our bearish divergence on Market Cypher B. From that bearish divergent entry, we went down 26%. Always a learning, right? Do not close your short positions on the hedge trades. Let whichever side of the range breaks play out to your advantage. All right, so we'll see if we head up now from manipulation into a distribution zone somewhere up here at our actual Fibonacci extension levels. I love it, Husseini, well done. And the reason I think you could be right is that this does look like manipulation. That does not look like healthy charting, right? When you see this kind of price action, you gotta know that something fishy is happening. The whales are shaking out the weak hands. They're shaking out all of the retail investors that kept continuously buying the top. They're saying get wrecked, get liquidated, so that we can actually buy these better levels. And actually, I think Trump is in on this. Trump is actually shaking up global markets so that he can break down Bitcoin and altcoins, right? We're gonna look at altcoins. We haven't seen this much blood on altcoins in years. And I think that this is absolutely strategic, so that Trump and all of his chums who have never ever bought Bitcoin or altcoins, because legally it was such a battle to buy any crypto assets. Now that we have ETFs coming out on most of our major altcoins, now his billionaire chums are actually able to expose themselves to these assets. But let's be honest, nobody wants to buy those kinds of prices on Avalanche, Solana, Tron, ADA, XRP. Right? Even Bitcoin. Whales do not want to buy billions of dollars of Bitcoin in this zone. $100,000. They would much rather buy Bitcoin at $70,000, $80,000. And I do believe this is a strategic shaking out of the weak hands. I am going to drop a video possibly on Sunday, so keep your eyes peeled. And it is about diamond hands. Right? When I was in Dubai, I saw a beautiful diamond sculpture, and it got me speaking about diamond hands. I'm going to drop a reel on that. So make sure you keep your eyes on my reels. Alright, is focusing on news instead of charts a great idea? So I'm a fan of basically making sure that you are fully aware of the TA, right? Because what we always see is that fundamental analysis will time perfectly into technical analysis. And some of the time, fundamental analysis does become more important, but it always runs with our TA. It always seems perfectly timed with the TA. If we do see some massive bullish news, most likely it will come within the golden pocket. In my opinion, we are likely to see some kind of push up to our major crucial support as resistance, and a nice push down, maybe more tariffs into our beautiful golden pocket and a push up. But this is just one scenario. All right, let's keep going. We're doing well for time. Let's keep going. Thank you everybody for being here. Michael Saylor has continuously bought. He definitely needs his profit back, so we're gonna see an upside. Yeah, Michael Saylor's buying literally for the next 4, 5, 10 years, right? And that is the kind of investment horizon you need to have on Bitcoin. I have been building a portfolio for one of my clients with DCA bots. We have now over 100 DCA bots running, and she always tells me, by next month, what's our profit gonna look like? And then in the next 2 months. And I say, you know what? Just forget it. Leave your DCA bots for 1 year. Come back and look at them and see what you see. It's a slow strategy, right? Time in the market. Time in the market. All right, thank you everybody for being here. So lovely to see you. If you are watching on Twitter, please come through to YouTube, smash the likes for us, because this is where we are doing our giveaways. And let me drop again in the chat, basically the best question that is asked on the content on this video. We will be doing a giveaway in my trading academy. Let me drop the link to my trading academy for anybody who is new, who is not yet in the academy. I believe most of you are. All right, just in. Well, has accumulated 7,000 ETH. Let's go. Depositing it into Aave. Using it to buy another 2,000 ETH. Okay, interesting. ETH whales buying. We did add to our ETH position. We have not seen much movement since we added to our ETH position. We also added a lot of lower limit entry buys on altcoins. Right, we're gonna look at altcoins. Let's just finish off this Bitcoin. Today's not really a Bitcoin focused stream. All right, so what I want to look at from here is actually a little bit of zoom in into the 4 hour. Actually, I think we can see it on the daily. All right, just 3 things I want to look at. First of all, we can see this beautiful resistance that we are right now testing again. And we can also see this beautiful upward sloping dynamic support. Right? In our live streams, we've been speaking about a liquidity zone basically at this set of wicks right here. And here we can see beautifully, right, in our live stream in Bybit English, we were talking around about here on Wednesday, and we were speaking about the FOMC pumping us up into the zone, and the fact that we actually have to come up. Okay, let's head to the 4 hour to be a little bit more clear. The fact that we actually have to come up and we have to claim this level as support. Right, we can see very clearly that this was the zone that was so hard to break down from, and now we have finally broken down from it. And unfortunately, right, and I'll say actually fortunately for me, because I want Bitcoin at lower prices, y'all. I want to see a 50k Bitcoin again, because I want to buy more Bitcoin at 50k. But that's the kind of attitude that you grow, right? If you have multiple cycle attitude, because of course we weren't buying the top. We were buying every candle on DCA, but we only buy the dip when our weekly RSI tells us to. And I just want those lower levels so I can buy more Bitcoin for the next 5 years, for the next 10 years, like Michael Saylor. But anyway, this is the liquidity zone we're watching right now, and we can see we got rejected from it, right back down to our beautiful upward sloping support. And now it's all about, do we break market structure towards our golden pocket? Or do we squeeze more? Do we claim this beautiful liquidity zone and head back up? And from here, we can see actually a very nice Fibonacci retracement. If we look at where we broke market structure right here to the downside, we can actually see a very noisy downtrend. And I'm going to do shortly a tutorial on moving averages, which is a way of cutting out the noise, right? Smoothing price data. But what we can see here is basically a downtrend to a nice bottom from a top. Yes, it's noisy, but if we cut out the noise, we can see a straight downtrend, and this allows us, of course, to take a Fibonacci retracement and flip it on its head and try and see where our levels are. If we take our Fibonacci retracement from the top here down to the bottom, we can clearly see that if we break This, wow, 0.382 level, acknowledged as significant, absolutely beautiful. Liquidity zone in play, 0.382 in play, upward sloping support in play, and now we can see we have the 0.5 above us. And if you want to short, of course, this would be your short-term, short entry, short to medium term level entry. This could be the play. Interesting stuff, but here we see golden pocket, right, from this downtrend. That would be our current golden pocket. Please don't be quiet, Mr. Miggs. Let me know if I'm missing anything. The last thing I basically want to look at here on Bitcoin, we've done so much Bitcoin analysis, so go back to the previous live streams if you missed it. But the other major thing is, of course, always our extreme resistance. We want to see where is the most extreme place that our price is rejecting. And what we're seeing here is one massive squeeze into a beautiful symmetrical triangle, which, let's be honest, could break to either side. I have come to have no bias on these symmetrical triangles anymore. Of course, as I've said many times before, I do not like to trade the breakouts of these triangles. I personally am not a breakout trader. I would prefer to trade from extreme levels of support and resistance, which means that we short the resistance, and we can see beautiful trades from the resistance. Absolutely awesome. And of course, we take our longs from the support, and right now we can see we're sitting at support and we are in a major squeeze. This is quite a huge symmetrical triangle, and actually I would say this price target is rather gnarly, so please everybody be careful here. If we look at where we started these levels, we can see some pretty large price targets to the upside and the downside, and a breakout looks to me to be imminent. What we might see if price keeps drifting is, of course, these levels actually extending and flipping. Alright, so if we pull these levels out, what we might see is, of course, either a nice massive breakout and a retest to the upside or the downside, or what we could see is a drifting of price into the other side. Very simple. We're going to keep it simple on Bitcoin today. Let me check if I've left anything out here right now. We were speaking about the CME gap. Let's quickly have a look. It does look like that CME gap we were talking about was perfectly filled. Absolutely awesome. Look at that. CME gaps for the win. Oh, I see a little gap sitting there, right? That looks like a gap that needs to be filled. Tiny one, but this was a massive one. We spoke about how it had not yet been filled to the upside. Then FOMC takes us up, boom, directly to the top of the CME gap. If you do not know about CME gaps, maybe I should actually make a tutorial on that. But simply head to your Bitcoin CME futures chart, which is BTC1 ! And it's looking a little bit funny now because they're going to move it to a new address shortly. But all good, all good. I think most of our CME gaps right now have actually been filled. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think all of the major gaps have been filled at this point. What I'm seeing here is a gap, a little baby one. Right, that looks like it wants to be eaten up right here at 80k. And I also see some smart money concept traders looking at an order block trade from that level. Very interesting. All right, let me know how you're doing in the chat. Are you alive? And I think what I want to do from here before we go into market charts is I'm going to do my beginner tutorial on moving averages. Let me know in the chat, does anybody here trade with moving averages? Like is here, let's go. Leah, nice to see you. Lovely to have everybody. Please, if you are here, drop us a message in the chat. And of course, smash that like button. Let's get to that 50. Let's have a giveaway, y'all. My favorite track. Alright, so what I'm going to do for this tutorial is I'm actually going to pause the music. We're going to concentrate. I am going to then cut this up into a really nice streamlined tutorial for us all to recap. Oh, Zon in the building. What's up? What's up? Oh, I have a new webcam, so I got to stop looking at that one. There you are. What's up? What's up? Much love to the crew and mad respect to you, Zon, for trading on demo like an OG. And we're going to talk about backtesting. All right, let me have a sip before I get into some serious tutorial right here. And please let me know how you're feeling in the chat. I think we're doing very, very well for time. We are 34 minutes in. Done with our simple Bitcoin update. All right, so what I'm going to do now is we're actually going to look at our moving averages. Let's get some faster reaction time here. Let me reload. All right, does anybody trade with moving averages? Let me know. And I'm going to take it nice and slow. This is very, very important. And also let me know what you think of my crypto trading tutorials playlist. Is everybody enjoying it? Okay, let's clean this up. I think let's stick to the daily. Let's make this nice and big. All right, let's make it look nice. Just cleaning up my charts. I like to make it look nice. And please, to the OG traders, I'm going to do quite an in-depth tutorial right now, but let me know if I miss anything. And I'm actually going to refer to notes because this is the most complicated tutorial that we have done as of yet. I hope everybody is up to date with the other tutorials because now we're starting to get real, y'all. We've done the basics. Now we're starting to get super, super real. All right, let's go. Let's go. It's awesome, but it can be improved a little by adding some animation. Interesting stuff. All right, give me some more detail. Give me some more detail on how I can add the animations. I do have some animation skills, so maybe we can do it. All right. Thank you everybody for being here. What we are going to do now is a beginner to intermediate tutorial on moving averages, right? This is one of the most important things that you can really learn to understand in crypto trading. As soon as I learned to understand moving averages, my trading game changed overnight. The guru that was teaching me, Mr. Trader Giants, taught me about moving average crossovers, support and resistance. And you know what? My whole trading game flipped because I was able, honestly, my jaw dropped when I finally understood how moving averages work. And my whole world opened up into how fascinating crypto charts and trading can be. Because you know what? Crypto and trading uses mathematics as magic. It is absolutely beautiful. All right, number one, we're going to talk about understanding moving averages. All right, moving averages is a statistic tool that smooths your price data. So obviously when we look at charts, often we see a lot of noise. We see the charts banging around like rodeo to the up and the downside, and we need tools that can make us feel sane. We need tools that can help us against analysis paralysis. And moving averages is one of those tools which smooths our price data over time to give us very nice, clear trends. All right, the two main types of moving averages that you need to understand are your simple moving averages, or simply your moving averages, and secondly, your exponential moving averages. Right, you can see here on my Bybit chart, I have both my moving average and my exponential moving average indicators. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. You can see I have my MA cross. I'm also using my exponential moving average cross. Very important to understand how to use both of these. And I'm going to break them down for you right now. All right, basically, the moving averages or your simple moving averages are for understanding your larger perspective and your larger trend. Your exponential moving averages are for getting your smaller time frame entries, as they are on an more immediate algorithm, right? I'm going to take it nice and slow today. So I hope everybody is taking notes. And you know what? Don't stress because I'm going to turn this into a shorter video. All right. The purpose of moving averages is actually threefold. First of all, to identify trends. Second of all, to identify dynamic support and resistance on the charts. Right? We might think that this is magic. What is this resistance? But actually it is clearly moving averages, clearly moving averages, clearly moving averages. We're going to speak about it today. All right, the third one is to identify potential reversal points. Okay, so setting up your chart. First of all, I would recommend either TradingView or Bybit for using your moving averages. Usually I would just say TradingView, but moving averages are very useful for actually giving you real-time scalping data for your entries and exits, for telling you exactly where to enter, for telling you exactly where to exit on the crosses, which is why I actually prefer having my moving averages on my trading platform. So right now you can see I have my Bybit trading chart open and I have my moving averages cross as well as my exponential moving averages cross. To find this is relatively simple. On either TradingView or Bybit, you come to your indicators and you simply type in moving average. And I like to actually use the moving average crosses. So you just type MA cross and you come and find it. Very, very simple. The next one I want you to learn about, and of course this is for the more advanced traders, but you know what? The sooner you learn it, the better. Right? The sooner you start to learn it, the sooner you will actually get it down. And we're going to talk about practicing. We're going to talk about how to actually implement these. But the next one is your EMA cross. And what this allows you to do is actually input two different moving averages and see where they cross. Please let me know if I am making sense. Let me go through this one more time. You come to indicators. You type in MA cross. And then you come and you select your moving average cross. Number 2, you type in EMA cross. And you come and you select your EMA cross. And I want you all right now to do this with me. Okay, so as I have explained, the use of the moving averages, the first one we're going to talk about, is to understand your larger trend. And you can see here on my moving averages, I have the 50 over the 200. This is known as our golden cross indicator. And it is extremely useful for understanding larger market trends. And on all markets, not just crypto, on indices, literally oil, gold, forex, most traders will use this to understand their market cycle. All right, let me try and make this a little bit thicker. Let's make it nice and big for the crew to see. All right, let's even make the crosses bigger. Oh, the crosses are nice and big. All right, so if we look at our previous market cycle, we can see very clearly where these crosses occurred. I'm going to try to break this down for you. What we're seeing here at this green line is our 50-day moving average. This is our shorter term moving average in this cross. We are crossing the 50 with the 200. This orange one is our longer term moving average. And basically what this is telling us is that this line, this green line over here, is the average price over the last 50 candles on this time frame. This line is the average price over the last 200 candles. And this is absolutely magic for understanding the charts. We can see here when the death cross occurred, that was pretty much the confirmation to sell a large amount of your Bitcoin portfolio. I'm not saying all of it. And even when I say large, I mean only about 25%. But we can see that if at this death cross, You sold 25% of your portfolio. You were then able to make an extra 60% to the downside on that sale. And when the 50 crossed the 200 again to give us our golden cross, this was the signal that the trend had turned around on the larger market cycle. And if you had have then gone and bought back in that 25% from this level, you can see that you could have made, there we go, a 272% up. And that even carried on further and further, all the way up to our all-time high at about 450% from the golden cross. Even now we can see something a little bit scary. We are threatening a potential death cross. We can see how the markets were playing with our emotions back here where we received a death cross. Many people said, you know what, it's over, it's bear market time. But then Bitcoin did Bitcoin things, and it came and very quickly gave us our golden cross again. And well done to those who actually longed the golden cross. Absolute beautiful trend. Look at that. Boom. All right, so let me know in the chat if you are understanding the moving averages. I'm going to try to keep it quite simple. This is, of course, a little bit complicated, and it is the most complicated tutorial that we have done so far. And I want you to experiment with different time periods. I like to keep it simple with my simple moving averages, and I like to stick to the 50 over the 200. Yes, exactly. It's the average of the 200 candles on your time frame. So if you use it on the daily time frame, it will be the average of the last 200 candles on that daily time frame. Exactly, Ike, you are getting it. And the same thing with the 50. All right, let's take it nice and slow. So there we have the moving averages. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the exponential moving averages. So as I said, these are more for your entries and your exit points as opposed to larger trend. So we can see here that this is useful to actually scalp with and find your trends. Right here we can see the 9 over the 26. So what I like to use on my exponential moving averages as a scalper is the 9 as the short term moving average and the 26 as the longer term moving average. These are quite close together, and you might say, wow, that sounds random, but this is what scalpers have actually found through a lot of practice, and I have learned this from the OGs, and here we can see it actually does work, right? When we get the cross of the 9 over the 26, we get some beautiful moves to the downside. When we get the cross to the upside of the 9 over the 26, we get some beautiful moves to the upside. And this happens time and time again. This is for the more advanced traders, but it can also help you to get your entries for the larger time frames. So here we can see beautiful trades time and time again from these crosses. And if you are looking at the larger time frames, sometimes these exponential moving averages can help you to identify when exactly to enter your trend. There is the cross, and look at that beautiful trend. All right, let's keep it nice and slow. I want you to experiment with the different time frames on your moving averages, as well as the different periods, right? I have come to enjoy the 9 over 26 personally, but I want you to experiment and find what works best for you. All right, I'm just checking my notes here. I want to make sure I do not miss anything out. All right, so let's speak now about how to interpret these moving averages. And let's bring back our moving average cross of the 50 over the 200. The first most important thing that this tells us is how to identify the current trend. And you might think, oh, it's so difficult to find a cross. we do not often get crosses. So what happens if you are in the markets during this time? And basically, the major thing to understand here is that when the price is below your slower moving average, which is your 200, when price is below your 200 daily moving average, you are technically more likely to be in a bear trend. When your price is above your slower moving average or your longer term moving average, you are more likely to be in an uptrend. Please let me know if everybody is understanding. Price below your slower moving average, downtrend. All right, there is your slower moving average. There is your price. There is your downtrend. Here is your slower moving average. Here is your price. Here is your uptrend. And here, of course, is your golden bullish cross where the trend changed. As you can see, this is magic. This is beauty. And this, of course, can be applied across all of the time frames. Okay, the number 2 important thing that moving averages tell us, apart from trend, are support and resistance. This is extremely important dynamic support and resistance that really nothing else on the charts can tell you. Right? We can see here how price literally sat on this long-term moving average right here as support. As soon as we broke the support of this long-term moving average, it flipped into resistance. Please watch my support and resistance tutorial. If you don't yet understand support and resistance, I believe most of you have watched the tutorial. Here we can clearly see that this is very dynamic support and resistance, meaning it is not in a straight line. It is dynamic, it moves, but it is to the dollar. Right here we sat on it as support. Here we broke the support to the downside, and here we retested that broken support, flipped into resistance, clear as day. And here, of course, we can see to the upside, boom, as soon as our resistance is finally broken, it flips, ba-ba-ba-boom, into support. And there we go. It can't get simpler. Clarity in its purest form. Mr. Savior Boy, lovely to have you in the crew, my brother and an OG. All right. So we've spoken about trend. I'm going to keep it simple. I'm going to recap a little bit. We've spoken about trend, basically where your price is below your slower moving average, you're in a downtrend. Where your price is above your slower moving average, you're in an uptrend. Then, of course, we also have our crossovers, and this is where it gets extremely interesting. We spoke about our death cross, throwing our whole market cycle into a bear market. This is your faster moving average, crossing over your slower moving average. And this is where it really gets interesting on the exponential moving averages. If you would like to be a scalper, of course that does take time in the market, that does take learning, but it is so much fun. And it is really, really a beautiful, beautiful way of trading. As soon as I found out how to use bullish and bearish crossovers of my moving averages, my trading entries became a lot more sniper. And I personally actually like to use these entries as a confirmation to add to my trade. So right here, of course, we would have actually wanted to enter from the support. And this, of course, was a golden pocket. Right, this whole area was a golden pocket. Go and watch the Fibonacci tutorial. We broke down how that area was a golden pocket. So that is why we entered. Then the bullish cross, the golden cross, was a confirmation that this was a beautiful trade. And then at the retest of the flipped resistance as support is where we could have added to our trade. And of course, a beautiful 500% up on Bitcoin. So please let me know if everybody is understanding. Number 1, trend. Number 2, support and resistance. Number 3, crossovers. So we can see that this is quite complicated, but it is absolute magic. And once you get the hang of it, it just becomes second nature. All right. Number 4, we're going to speak about strategy, right? Entries and exits. All right, we're going to talk about alt shortly. We're going to talk about, I'll answer your question shortly. All right, let me take a break for a quick sip. All right, so when it comes to strategy, you want to use the trend definition of basically price below your slower moving average as confirming a downtrend. And then you want to use your crossovers as your confirmed entry. And this does really get interesting when you start to use your exponential moving averages, which are of course your more immediate entry signals. So you use your slower moving averages to identify the trend. Then you use your exponential averages, the crossovers for your entries, as well as your exits. So basically, when your slow moving average crosses over your slower moving average, so let's say your shorter, when your shorter term moving average crosses over your longer term moving average to the downside, this is known as a bearish cross, right? And that's when you can start to entertain your short trade. In terms of exits, you just look at that in reverse. You look at where does your faster moving average cross over your slower moving average to the upside. And that is where you can see you would have exited that trade. Then we entered into quite a flop and grop no trading zone. And it wasn't long before we entered into a nice trending zone once again. Beautiful bearish cross of your 9 exponential moving average over your 26 exponential moving average. And then an exit of the trade. Finally, boom, 49% down, where your 9 exponential moving average finally crossed back up above your 26 from the downside. I know this is complicated. This is our most complicated tutorial, but well done everybody for concentrating, and please let me know if you are understanding. Okay, then there's just a few more additional considerations that I want to talk about when you are using moving averages. All right, the first one I want to talk about is your use of multiple time frames. And this is very important. To be an OG trader, you have to learn to combine time frames. And what I always like to do, what I like to teach, is to find 2 main time frames that you enjoy to combine. My personal favorites are the 1 day and the 4 hour, as well as the 1 hour and the 15 minute. If I am scalping, I will use the 1 hour and the 15 minutes, and I will combine those. Of course, I'll use the 1 day and the 4 hour for a little bit of larger perspective. Right? If I am intraday trading, I will combine my 1 day and my 4 hour. And let me show you something quite special here. If we have a look at our moving average cross again of the 50 over the 200, and we go to our 4 hour time frame. Here we will actually see that we get our signals. Let's go back to that position. Let's zoom out a little bit here. All right, let's go all the way to previous market cycle top. So have a look at this beautiful cross on the 4 hour. We can see that when price finally broke down with a nice trend to the downside of our slower moving average, we received this death cross on the 4 hour, right? Technically a death cross is on the daily of the 50 over the 200, but we can see here we got an early entry signal on the 4 hour, and that gave us a little bit of a heads up ahead of time that it was coming before it happened on the daily. Very important to understand how to use multiple time frame analysis. All right, another consideration I want to talk about is, of course, combining your moving averages with other indicators, right? No indicator is an island. You always need to have confluence of at least 3 to 5 entry signals from indicators to enter into any trade. I always speak about your strategy as being a rope, and each indicator is just a strand in that rope. The more strands you have in your rope, the stronger your strategy will be. All right, so one of the major indicators you can, of course, use here is your RSI. Very, very nice. Here we can see that the RSI was moving down from a bearish divergence right at the top when finally trend changed. And actually it showed us here that there was potentially going to be a little bit of a move up before the major move to the downside. Right? So very, very important to always try to match other indicators. Very, very nice. And here we can see on our stochastic RSI, when we got this beautiful death cross on the 4 hour, all we had to do was wait for the stochastic to come up to a nice level of overbought right before we took our entry to the downside. Important. Of course, you can also match your moving averages with other indicators for confluence, such as your Fibonacci, your MACD, support and resistance, etc. All right, another consideration I just quickly want to talk about is, of course, backtesting. Do not go and trade real funds on these strategies before you test them, because when you backtest them, you will learn how these strategies work in every kind of circumstance. And I'm so proud of my crew that does backtest and that does use demo, right? This is very, very important. You have to first understand how these are going to work with actual money, actual entries before you go and use your hard-earned funds. So we always talk about the trajectory into the learning curve of crypto. First, you build a strategy, right? You come and follow YouTube channels, you do courses, right? You can even enter signal groups, things like that. You learn about strategy. First, you build a trading strategy, you build a trading plan. Secondly, you go to a demo account and you trade there. And I'm talking hundreds of trades on demo with your strategy. That allows you to adapt your strategy and become stronger. It also allows you a little bit of resilience to fear and greed. All right, from demo, you then come to paper trading. Once you have a high win rate, if you're winning 60 to 100% of your trades, over 100 trades, then you start to trade what we call paper trades. And this means that you take small amounts, whatever is a small amount to you that you don't mind losing, right? What you would spend on a night when you go out, something like that, something that's not going to wreck your life savings. This is a paper trade. And then you come and you start trading those amounts on that same strategy until you find that your win rate is consistent with your demo. And when you are still in a high win rate from what you had on demo, then you start to increase your paper trade amounts. And the reason we increase our paper trade amounts slowly is so that we can slowly actually increase our exposure to the emotions that come with using real money, right? Money is the basis of most of our fear and greed in life, and panic and fear will wreck you as a trader. If you go from trading demo to trading with real big amounts, you will likely fail, because in demo you have no real fear and greed because it is imaginary money. If you paper trade and you slowly incrementally increase your amounts, you will slowly increase how much you actually feel the fear and greed. All right, so I'm actually going to quickly recap that because it is extremely important. All right, so the trajectory for taking a strategy into actually trading is, number one, you build a trading plan and a trading strategy, right? In your signal groups, in your YouTube channels, in your guru groups, whatever you do, you find a trading plan, you find a trading strategy. Number 2, you go to a demo account and you back test that trading strategy until you have a high win rate of at least 60 to 100% over more than 100 trades. Then you slowly start paper trading. Paper trading is using a small amount that you don't mind losing. And the reason we start paper trading is so that you can slowly start to understand the fear and greed and panic that comes with trading with real money. And then you incrementally increase your paper trades so that you can increase your exposure slowly to the emotions of fear and greed and panic and slowly build your emotional control. And that's how you will slowly build your way towards having real positions. All right, of course, the next thing we need to talk about is risk management. Even when you have back tested, when you have paper traded, of course, you need to use your stop loss and you need to use the golden rule. Watch my parabolic SAR tutorial on where to set your stop losses, and maybe I should do a video, but just Google and understand the 1% golden rule. On any one trade, you should only be risking 1% of your portfolio. This means that actually you can lose thousands of trades and not get wrecked, because each trade that you lose, that 1% that you risk on the next trade will be slightly smaller. And if you are winning, your 1% will be slightly larger, and this is the magic of compounding, and this is the golden rule that all traders use, right? In trading, it is all about taking something small and making something big, risking a little to gain a lot. Do not risk a lot to gain a little. All right, the 1% golden rule. You might think it's tough and I don't want to do that, but that is how you make trading a business, right? That is how you make trading successful. All right, and then the next thing that I'm going to talk about, the last thing, is to make sure you journal every single trade. Make sure you journal why you entered the trade, how the trade went, and what you learned from the trade. Keep it simple, because you might have a strategy that includes lots of trades like scalping, but make sure you journal every single entry, why you entered, what the P&L was, obviously how it went, and how was your learning, so that you can quickly have an overview, of course, of your P&L over the last few days, over the week, over the month, over the year. And of course, so you can look back when you're freaking out in a trade and you're saying, oh, it's going against me. Why did it break down out of that triangle? I thought it would break up. You can quickly go back and see what happened the last time. And you can say, oh, okay, I remember. Maybe let's not enter that trade. Let's not add to that trade. Let's step back. All right, so I hope everybody has enjoyed. Please let me know, the OGs, if I've left anything out. And you know what? It's time to get into market charts. It's time to actually hit our altcoins. We have got a lot of work to do. Let's get some beats going again. And please let me know how everybody's feeling. Thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Oh, thank you, Mr. Desmond. Much appreciated. I try my best. Sometimes I feel like I'm preaching, but you know what? If I had someone preaching to me, I would not have wrecked that first. I think it was like $12,000 that I wrecked trading leverage. I was an extremely profitable spot trader. I had made a lot of money spot trading, and then I wrecked a decent amount of that when I started leverage trading because I didn't demo, right? I didn't backtest. I didn't journal. I didn't have a trading plan. I didn't have a strategy, and I wrecked a lot of money. And I don't think that anybody really needs to lose major amounts in this market. All right. If you trade, you will lose money. You will lose trades. No trader has 100% win rate. Yes, we've got Tuffy Calls that is killing it, and he has 100% win rate over his last, I think, his whole year. But you know what? That is the very, very few, and he has been trading for up to 10 years on leverage. Baby, welcome. All right, so right now I would refer you to Tuffy Calls. He has a beautiful, beautiful signal group. But actually, I would prefer that you join my trading academy and you learn how to trade, right? Because this is the biblical idea of give a man a fish and he'll eat for one night. He'll feed his family for one night. Teach a man to fish and he will feed his family for life, right? Give a man a signal and he'll eat for one night. There are those signal groups. I would recommend Ahmed XM. Beautiful. I would recommend Tuffy Calls. Beautiful. The only two signal groups that I would recommend paying for. But use those signal groups as a way to hone your knowledge of how to enter and exit while you're building your own strategy. right? Signal groups are really useful for, of course, building your funds and also teaching you how to enter and exit. I might build a signal group. I am thinking of partnering with Tuffy Calls because I'm super impressed. We have been working together and we've been absolutely nailing it. As you can see, the trades in the last week have been super beautiful, risk managed, nice profits, and we are thinking of partnering because we are long-term friends. I will think of opening a signal group. But actually what I think you should do is learn to trade, right? Learn to fish, y'all. All right, give a man a signal and he won't take responsibility. Yeah, that's true. You'll always blame the signal giver. All right, you want the link. All right, a little bit later, I'll drop the link to Tuffy Calls Premium because he deserves it, because he's the OG. All right, but for now, let's keep going with our stream. Let me know if the beats are all good. Are we too loud? Are we good? Is everything loud and clear? We're doing extremely well for time. And was the moving averages interesting? Was it understandable? Was it too much to digest? All right, so what I'm gonna do now is drop the next letter in our password for the giveaway. Let's see how we're doing for our likes. All right, come on, y'all, smash those likes. We need to hit 50. When we hit 50, I'm gonna drop the full password. But let me drop the next one, which is a capital R. That is the next letter in our password. All right, I'll think about it. I'll chat to Tuffy Calls. We'll think about it. Interesting. Okay, beautiful. Good to go. All right, and let me remind everyone about our other giveaway. Has everybody dropped their question on the last tutorial? On the RSI tutorial, the best question on this tutorial will win a prize, and it will be up to the Trading Academy to vote on this. Has everybody dropped their question on the last tutorial? Let's go. The crew is still watching. Lovely to see. If you are watching on Twitter, please come through to the YouTube, smash those likes. Let's do a giveaway. All right, and let's get into some more TA. Yeah, I've got a lot of work I still want to do, and I don't want to do too much of a long one. We need to touch grass. We need to touch some grass, even if the grass is in the club. Yeah, we need to cut some shapes on that dance floor. All right, so now what I want to do is go into our market charts. After we look at Bitcoin, I always like to have a look at our market charts. The first market chart that I always like to look at is actually Bitcoin dominance. All right, before I look at my altcoins at all, I want to understand what is happening in the dominance of Bitcoin. And we've spoken about this quite a lot before. You can see this chart is a little bit complicated, so let me quickly break it down for the crew who hasn't been here all the way through. All right, this is our Bitcoin dominance chart, and let me just go back in time here so we can all understand. All right, this was the previous largest altcoin season that we have ever seen. Basically, when Bitcoin dominance falls, that's when our altcoins go up parabolically. And when Bitcoin dominance goes up, that is when our altcoins bleed out. It's the opposite of an altcoin season, right? And the major resistance that I have identified here is very important to our current situation, right? So this line right here, okay, let me just break this down for the crew. Again, we're going to start from scratch here because this is an altcoin stream and this is super important. So let's clean this up, right? Because we have to make our charts look nice. My personal trainer always used to tell me, make it look nice. All right, so first off the bat on Bitcoin dominance, the clearest thing that we can see on the chart is of course this massive level of resistance. And for me, this is the most important thing that we need to look at right now. From here, we can also draw in our major parallel channel, because not only can we see a major level of resistance, but we can also see a major sideways level of support, and it is also parallel. So we draw in our large parallel channel, and what we see is that the median line is giving us extreme significance. And I don't want to confuse the crew too much here, but what I usually like to do when a parallel channel is this big, I like to draw in parallel channels within the top and the bottom to break it down into quarters. So you simply find your parallel channel again, and you drop it in just from the top to the middle. And we can see that we are currently literally to the dollar retesting that median line as resistance. Is everybody clear? We can see exactly, let me make this nice and big here. We draw in these giant parallel channels, and then we can see to the dollar, that's where the rejection was. Is it magic? Is it random? No, it is mathematics. It is parallel channels. There's the massive wick, and here we can see we're actually trying, right? Bitcoin is trying to break that level, and these are the altcoins holding on, saying no, we can't take any more blood, give us a rejection. And this is where it comes to my major opinion of what's next. All right, the next thing that I draw onto this chart, of course you can draw in your other parallel channel at the bottom here. It's not as important as that's not currently the quarter that we are in, but we can of course see extreme significance on this other median line, right? I'm not making this up. The charts are showing us these are significant levels. Is everybody following? And try to draw these levels in, because if we enter back into an altcoin season, you want to see where the possible support levels are. And actually, I really want us to go up, right? I really want more blood on alts. I want lower level entries. I'm still fine for my stop losses. Yes, we're in major blood, but we're still okay because we have low leverage positions, we have low margin positions, and we have what we call portfolio positions. Right? You get scalp trades, you get intraday trades, you get swing trades, and then you get portfolio margin trades, which are the longest term trades that you can take. And they are for market cycles, they are for market seasons. And the trades that I'm currently building that we're going to go through now, 40 of them, are what we call portfolio trades. And they are trades that you slowly build. You build at your major support levels. You build at your major RSI dips. And of course you dollar cost average into them. And we have been doing this for quite some time. We can see that at any moment we could lose this market structure. So the next thing I draw in here is this parallel channel, right, from this major resistance. First that was established, let's draw it in right there. First that was established here as support. We lost it to this level we came up to, actually test it as resistance. Now this level has continuously been our resistance in this uptrend of Bitcoin against altcoins. Here we can see that actually the median line has been our most major support. And when we fall to the bottom here is really the place to be buying altcoins and adding to your positions, because then we get these pumps. All right, no, we actually have to flip it, right? It's confusing. We have to always flip it. So at the resistance is where you want to be adding to your altcoin positions. And at the support is where you want to take profits, because that's where Bitcoin pumps. Is everybody following me? I know this is a confusing chart. I know it's confusing. All right, the other major thing that I want you all to be aware of on this chart is the parabolic curve that we see from our bottom. All right, so from the end of our previous altcoin season, take a parabolic curve, and these are quite finicky, they take some time, but take a parabolic curve from there and just try to find exactly where that curve looks like it has its most points of significance, and try to give it a little bit of room to the upside. And we can see here that there is extreme significance on this parabolic curve. And it does look to me like we could continue upwards on this curve up to our major resistance. And this is actually the play that I'm hoping for. And a lot of you might say, you know what? How can we have more blood on altcoins? This is the most blood we've seen on altcoins in many years. Right? Crazy stuff. We have our beloved altcoins in such huge blood. Uni 50% down. We did see a 70%. Avalanche. PEPE, we saw a 75% down over the last 90 days. Things are looking a little bit better now, and that is because we got rejected a little bit from that median line. Right? Literally, the reason things are looking a little bit more chill is basically this little move right here. And when we finally drop is where we will see our altcoin season. So there's the answer to the earlier question. Right? At any point, we could lose this curve and drop. It could be here at the median. And you know what? Hallelujah if we just start to make profits to the downside to our major bottom support. But for me personally, of course, it doesn't matter what we want. It doesn't matter what we hope. The charts are going to do whatever they want. But for me, I really want us to just clear this last bit of blood. I want more pain. I want more blood so that as a vampire, we can get our final major entries. And this is where I will finally deploy actual liquidity right into these trades. I've been doing very small trades. I've been doing very small entries. This is where I will actually put major money into altcoins, into the 2x trades, because we can see that historically, that is where the best altcoin seasons have been from. And if we see it from this level, then hallelujah, we're in the trades. We're not going to complain. We're going to run away from the bank with the profits. All right, so we'll leave it there for now. I think another major interesting thing here could of course be the Fibonacci from this drop. So let's quickly drop in the Fibonacci retracement from there. And of course, it's going to give us that beautiful confluence. But you know what, we're running out of time. Let's keep it simple here. Let's go into our other market charts. Is everybody still alive? Is everybody still alive? There we go. And OG, Mr. Honest KOL, and brother, I am loving your channel more and more every single video that you drop, because you know what? You spit the truth. You speak the truth. There are so many influencers out there that are just talking kak. In South Africa, we say kak. Nonsense. And you know what? You are one of the ones doing it right. You're staying true to your name as Honest KOL. And brother, I salute you. I salute you for uncovering the brutal depths behind the influencer industry and just how brutal it is. You know, there are those influencers that just want you to trade no matter what, so that as long as you're trading on their affiliate links, they're happy. As long as you're making them rich, they're happy. They don't mind if you build your portfolio. They don't mind if you get wrecked. And myself and Honest KOL are trying to be the light in the influencer industry. We're trying to be different, right? We do care. We care if you build your portfolio. We care if you get wrecked. We don't want you to get wrecked, right? Use a stop loss, don't get wrecked. And of course, learn to trade. This is one of the reasons why I personally don't think that I really am the one for a signal group, right? Because I want to teach y'all to learn the mindset of wealth, to learn how to be wealthy, to learn how to generate passive income, and of course, to learn how to trade bit by bit by bit. And I'm talking spot, I'm talking 2x, right? Not to run into being a DJ and wreck your life savings. All right, what are we seeing? I see a top at 60%, 66% then alt season. All right, Honest KOL, let's drop a little line in there. So I would say that you've got something there, brother. You've got something there, but I would take it one step further, and actually I would draw a liquidity zone right there from 66% up to the top of our extreme resistance. And I would say that actually we're looking at this kind of a level from extreme resistance down to that 66. We can see that historically, when we have lost the 66 level, that's been the time, right? That's been the time. Yo, alt season time from 66. So you're not wrong, you're reading the charts perfectly. But you see these spikes here. We have to be aware that at 66, I'm not going to put everything in, because we could see more capitulation of alts. If we hit 66, everybody is going to be so sad and so bloody. that we could see this capitulation spike right up to these previous levels. And then we get, you know, our OG sniper entries into the altcoins. And this is the altcoin season that I want. Honest KOL, thank you for joining my stream, brother. And tell me, are you going to be in Dubai for Token 2049? I think it's high time that we met up again. And let me know exactly where you are based so that I can come visit you. I'm doing a global trip throughout May. I will be in Dubai, I will be in London, I will be in Italy, I will be in Amsterdam, I will be in Switzerland. Hopefully I will be in Czech, I'll be in Prague. Let me know. Belgium, where you at? All right, cool. So from Bitcoin dominance, now that we really have an idea of exactly what's going on, now we can start to move into actual market charts. We're gonna bounce from here into market charts outside of crypto. All right, so what I like to do from there is I like to look at our tech charts, right? So if we look at our S&P 500, this is our tech stocks. And we can see here just what Trump has done. Right, our tech stocks are basically our most bullish market because tech gets cheaper while it gets more advanced. So companies like Apple, right, each new phone they make, it's cheaper to make. Each new laptop they make, it's cheaper to make, but of course it's more expensive for us. So they earn exponentially. And this is why tech is so good to invest in. And just remember that Bitcoin is mined through using tech, right, through using NVIDIA, etc., which is all part of the S&P. And we can see that our upward sloping parallel channel looks like it has finally broken to the downside. We could be seeing this kind of mammoth fake out that we have been known to see before, and tech stocks get bullish. You know, if Trump maybe completely relaxes tariffs or something like that, we could get another major push into this parallel channel and just continue our uptrend on tech stocks. All right, the other option is a little bit more scary. If we actually now start to respect market structure to the downside and create this kind of a parallel channel continuation to the downside. All right, that could be a little bit more bearish, a little bit more bear market-ish for Bitcoin and for altcoins. All right, is everyone still alive? I know people get a little bit bored when I do market charts, but actually market charts are what's going to give you the catalysts, right? Market charts will react before crypto reacts. Market charts is what the institutional investors look at before they invest or sell crypto. All right, let me know if you're alive. Let me drink so I don't lose my voice. Can you hear my voice is going? I'm shouting because I'm passionate tonight. All right, if you're still in the crew, drop me a message and let's see how we're doing towards our giveaway. All right, we're edging towards our giveaway. Let me drop our next code, which is an X, right? It is a capital X, the next letter in our password. And when we hit 50 likes, I will drop that full password plus that giveaway into my trading academy, even if it's after the session, like last time. All right, this is really, really interesting, right? We could see a recovery back into the uptrend, or of course, we could see a confirmation of market structure to the downside. Right, from there, what I like to do is I like to go to the Dixie. For those of you who don't know, the Dixie is basically the US dollar against a basket of other currencies. Yeah, whenever I hear this track, I just want to rap. Love me some trap. Can y'all hear the beats? We've got to keep some energy going. Yeah, let's go, let's go. Husseini, the OG. Well done for your trading, brother. I am consistently so impressed with you. Your win rate for the month is so high, so awesome. All right, let's be thinking outside the box. We are financial analysts, let's cook. So I'm not actually trading the S&P, but maybe I should because it just moves so nicely compared to crypto, right? It's like easy compared to crypto. All right, lovely to have you. Nearly alive. Let's go, let's go. Yeah, so now we're looking at Dixie. US dollar index is the Dixie, right? The US dollar index is the Dixie, and we can see basically we're just in this upward sloping trend. The US dollar is in an uptrend. and sure, maybe a little bit bearish for crypto. Just be aware that we are coming to major support for the US dollar. This is something to keep in mind when we start to look at our alts. Of course, if we lose the support for the US dollar, that could be bullish, right? Because if money is coming out of the US dollar into this basket of other currencies, part of those other currencies are high-risk investments like crypto. But actually, we are seeing some major support levels below us, and we could see more blood for crypto. We might even see this kind of a crazy fake out to the bottom of this channel. And that's a little bit scary, because really we should only be getting super bullish on crypto at these kinds of levels. So we might see a little bit more bullishness before huge downside. And that is a little bit scary and something to keep in mind, especially looking at that larger golden pocket on Bitcoin. All right, we're gonna move a little bit faster, and from here I like to go to the total. All right, this is your total crypto market cap. And this to me right now is a very, very interesting chart, because if we look at our Fibonacci on the total, we can actually see that we did tip into our golden pocket zone. And we are currently seeing the move up from the golden pocket. It's very interesting because Bitcoin has not yet hit that golden pocket from the previous trend, but this total market cap has. So what does that mean? Sheesh, we need to figure it out, y'all. What it could mean is that we don't hit that golden pocket on Bitcoin or on altcoins. The 0.5 level on our Bitcoin chart holds us up, and we move up from this golden pocket bounce on our market cap back into an uptrend, and this is our higher low. All right, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, boom, higher high. Beautiful, let's go. 4 trillion in market cap. What it could also mean is that we could come down again. You can see we're being rejected right now at the 0.5 level. And I have this line in here at 2.7 because that is our previous top for total. And remember, I spoke about previous local tops acting as support for next market bottoms. So I have this line in as to be slightly bullish if we are above it like we are now, to find that move up. Right now we can see the 0.5 of our Fibonacci is rejecting us, and we might come down to actually entertain a longer swing within the golden pocket of our total market cap. So a lot is telling us that we need to be very careful, very patient in the moves that we make right now on crypto in general, because we could be seeing more blood. Of course, we don't want to be left out, so we have to do something, right? But we have to keep it slow in case we see much more blood, in case we even see an Elliott wave. Risk management for the win all the way. All right, from there, I like to go to the total 3. The total 3, as most of you know, is the total market cap of all altcoins, excluding Ethereum. So it's not Bitcoin, it's not Ethereum. And this is actually my favorite chart for trying to understand our alt season. And this is really the chart that the alt season index uses. It uses the Bitcoin chart against Bitcoin dominance against the total 3, which is really one of the most volatile charts that we have in crypto. Because Ethereum is so big, it will skew our total market cap of altcoins. So we leave it out and we look at the total 3. And again, we can see previous local top giving us a possible local bottom. And what's interesting here is that this is actually looking like the golden pocket for our altcoins has been tapped, right? We get a double tap. For those gamers out there, for those zombie movie lovers, the only way for a confirmed kill is a ba-ba-ba-boom double tap. And we have got the double tap. We have got the bullish harami on the daily time frame. Beautiful candle reading for the win. We've also got this beautiful bullish hammer if we can reclaim this 0.382 level. We are moving from our golden pocket right now. We do have the harami. All right, things are looking slightly bullish here. But just remember, when we see larger market structure like this, we can always entertain a much deeper move into the golden pocket, even a fake out on these larger time frames below the golden pocket before our actual move to the upside. So once again, we don't want to be left out, right? We buy the blood, we DCA, no matter what happens, we increase our position sizes. We don't want to be left out for when. Let me be clear, for when altcoins go to the moon. Altcoins will be back, baby. Right? Just like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Altcoins will be back. That you can hold me to it. Right? We're not going to see altcoins go to zero. It's not the end of our cryptocurrency moves. Right? We might enter into a bear market, sure thing. But if we do enter into a bear market and actually produce a downward sloping structure, we will only at some point enter again into a bull market on altcoins. And that's why we use stop losses. Alright, let me recap here on Total 3. It's very simple. Very, very simple and very similar actually to our Bitcoin chart. Right? We are currently in an uptrend on altcoins. We see this was our bottom. We see higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. If we put in a higher low anywhere in this level, we can continue our uptrend to the upside and everything is good. Right, the thing that helps us to understand where this low could be is of course our Fibonacci. And if we look back in time, this is really the chart that we need to be focusing on right now for an altcoin stream, right? This chart and Bitcoin dominance is really what we need to focus on if we're doing an altcoin stream. Bitcoin dominance, we can see we need a little bit more blood really before we hit those beautiful levels. And here we can also see on our smaller Fibonacci that we could see a little bit more of a nice move into the golden pocket and a little bit of a fake out to the downside. What we also need to do to be really realistic is our larger Fibonacci of the actual larger trend. Right, so if we take the top of this trend and the bottom of this trend and we draw our Fibonacci trend, we can see that we are clearly moving on this trend. And currently, yes, a little bit bullish back towards the trend, but if we lose the trend, then this will be the level that we need to look for a major turnaround. Unless, of course, we Elliott wave all the way to the bottom. Elliott wave is a tutorial for another day. But what I want to do here is I want to go back to previous market cycle. Let me just send one message quick to my VIP relationship manager. What a legend. What a legend. He is currently in South Africa asking me if I'm awake. He probably wants to go to the clubs. But let me tell him, I'm live on YouTube. Let me actually tell him to join us. Alright, how's everybody doing? Are you alive? Alright, I see my crew is here. I know it's Friday night. I know it's a public holiday. But you know what? This is important stuff that we're doing. So thank you everybody for being here. And please do smash those likes. And drop me a message if you're here. Drop me a message if you're alive. Beautiful stuff. X, I see you. I see you. Is my voice loud and clear? Can I speak a little bit softer? Because I am shouting my voice away. I can still hear. Okay, awesome. We're getting to the bottom of it. We're getting there. We're getting there. All right, the crew is alive. Hardly, but alive. Okay, so what's very important here is, of course, to look at history. Take our Fibonacci retracement from the previous bottom on Total 3 all the way to the top. And this is what I was talking about. Right? To find an actual swing. So this to me is really, really beautiful, right? We could be seeing two things here. First of all, right, when we finally got this level, when we finally got this break of market structure, which was the lower highs and lower lows, right? When market structure broke, we could put in our Fibonacci. And here, what happened? We got a first bounce off the golden pocket. Similar to kind of what's happening here, right? But remember that this is literally the golden pocket from the bottom to the top. So if this is literally a top for us, then we can look at drawing in our golden pocket from here to here. But let's just keep it simple for now. What we saw is a long, slow, really harsh, bloody move in this golden pocket. And this was literally the best time to buy altcoins. Right, that was where you got your OG entries on any of the major alts. Alright, and then the next thing we need to do from historic price action on total 3 is we're almost getting into our alts. So well done, crew, for hanging out. We're almost there. We're almost there. Alright, lovely to hear, Husseini. Awesome, brother. Loud and clear. Thank you, brother. Alright, so of course, just like we did on Bitcoin, we need to do our Fibonacci extension from the bottom to the top to the pivot bottom. And here we can see, of course, without even looking at the charts, we know that this is giving us extreme significance. Right, and the reason I don't think that this altcoin season is over, because actually this is the same as our previous market tops for alts. Which is why I don't think that this is over, right? Of course, we're getting a massive double top, but what we're actually seeing here, and let's go, be awake to the OGs. I'll draw this in again, but what pattern, right? What pattern are we possibly seeing here? Who's awake? We already saw it once here. And here it looks like we could be seeing an even bigger version of the same pattern. What is it? I want the crew to wake up. Wake up, y'all. There we go. Husseini's awake. Yes, it looks like we could be seeing a massive cup and handle. And for those of you who really know about the cup and handle, it is really, we're almost on the verge of invalidating it, right? A cup and handle does get invalidated if you go really past your 30% level on the handle. So if this is to be a cup and handle, it's extremely bullish, and honestly I think that this is realistic. This is something that we could see on the charts. And this is a little bit of hopium and reason why, you know, we're actually buying this as a dip on altcoins. If we look at the total 3 stochastic RSI, look what we are currently seeing. Okay, so let's first look at the cup and handle, then I'm going to show you the stochastic RSI for a little bit of bullish hopium. We get a little bit of EDM here. Let's go. Electronic dance music. Alright, so what we're seeing here for a possible cup and handle is actually quite juicy. And let's go back in time to see just how, you know, well this can play out from previous market cycles. And I would say this was our previous cup and handle right here. Schwap! And then boom. Parabolic altcoin season like we ain't never seen it before, y'all. Massive cup. Little baby handle that the queen drinks from. And then shwababa boom. Altcoin season like you could have never imagined, right? And look at that. Once we break previous market cycle top is where we really go parabolic. And what do we see here? Market cycle top acting as next market cycle bottom. Keep it in mind. I know today is a very complicated stream. I'm giving you a lot, but very important. Alright, next thing to understand is, of course, boom, massive cup. Let's see if we looped here. Looking good, looking good. Alright, massive cup. It looks like we could already be at the bottom. Of course, the best place to buy the cup and handle is really at the bottom of our bear market on altcoins. But the next best place you can buy is at the bottom of the handle. And the cup and handle really tells us that we should not go below 30% for our handle. And this is looking pretty dang nice. Because if we extrapolate our price target for this cup and handle, and I think we could go much higher than this, but this is also looking pretty nice. Basically, from the top of the cup, right? We're drawing a line at the top of the cup. We then take a trend line from the bottom to the top of the cup. And then we take this trend line literally from the breakout. And that will give us the price target of our next market top. which is looking at almost 2 trillion for altcoins. And this just makes sense in terms of market structure. This is what I think could really happen, and it's a little bit of nice bullish hopium. Right, if we look at that previous cup and handle, we can see that I think we actually smashed our price target and above. Alright, and it's time to move on to the actual positions. But if we take this cup, it's crazy. This is crazy price action. Absolutely beautiful. But if we take, right, this cup, and we take this handle, and here we take from the neckline, or basically the top of the cup, we draw a line down there, we take our trend line, bottom of the cup, top of the cup, we can see how we really beautifully smashed our price target and actually more than doubled our price target, and that's how bullish things can get. We can even see here, maybe this is it, maybe this is all of it, right? Maybe this is the only cup that we're getting. Still a little bit of room of upside there. Alright, but let's keep it simple. Basically, we're in an uptrend. We're currently at support. We're currently at golden pocket. We're currently at local top. If we get more blood here, we could see a move down to that resistance level. If we make a lower low, we could see a lower high. We could see a downtrend in a bear market for alts. Very simple recap. Alright, finally, time to get into our altcoin position trades. So drop for me in the chat what you really want to look at. And I want to try be quite diligent today. And I want to go through these altcoins which are in the top 90 first of all. Sorry, top 50 over the last 90 days. And I want to go from the most bloody ones. In our last stream, we actually put limit entries to add to our positions and to open new positions at lower levels of support and golden pocket, etc. on ADA, HBAR, Render, ENA, Avalanche, ONDO, SUI, and we added to our Ethereum trade to bring our entry lower. I want to quickly look at where our positions are sitting on all of those trades. Right, I also want to look at the XRP trade and see how do we manage that, because we have some really awesome news here. Right, so congratulations to anybody who is in the XRP army like myself. If you have a holding of XRP, if you're staking your XRP, if you've been buying XRP for years, pat yourself on the back, right? We knew this day was coming. Finally, they have dropped the case against XRP. And of course, we saw XRP do a little bit of a parabolic uptick. And yeah, now we see XRP actually sitting so pretty all the way up here, 2.8% up over the last 90 days, while we see most other altcoins extremely in the blood. And what do we do here? Do we dollar cost average into our XRP trade? Is it time to add to our XRP trade, or do we take profits now? Right? Is it a sell the news event? Let me know in the chat. All right, XRP and TON. Beautiful. I really need to look at my TON position, so I'm adding it to the list. And please drop for me any altcoins that you would like to look at. I'm adding TON right here. We're definitely gonna look at TON. I hold XRP on demo. What? Come on. Don't you hold? Start your DZA on XRP. Come on. You have to join the XRP army, my brother. All right, I think the cup and handle took place just to retest, making resistance to support. Interesting stuff. Could happen that it was already the total 3 cup and handle. And yeah, that's the top of the cup that could be giving us support there. But there's no reason, Husseini, why we can't get another cup, right? Why this cup and handle can't just be noise within another cup. Could be. All right, SUI we're also gonna have a look at. I did actually put a lower entry. So what I'm gonna try to do now is I'm gonna go through a lot of altcoins. So drop for me the altcoins that you wanna look at, but I'm actually gonna try go through all of these that are in the blood and check the ones that we have not yet put lower entries on. I don't think right now that I'm gonna literally add to any trade right now, because, right, we see USDT dominance looking a bit dodgy. Do we not look at USDT dominance? Okay, one more chart we need to look at. Right, is USDT dominance. Very important. And I think what's nice to see here is we could be seeing a little bit of resistance, right? Within this range, we could be seeing a little bit of resistance. But what I actually want to draw in here is to try find a parallel channel all the way from the bottom on this line right here down to the support, and there we go. So this could go either way, right? This could be beautiful for us, or this could be deadly. If USDT dominance breaks back into this uptrend, it could be absolutely brutal, and we could see much more downside for all crypto, right? If USDT dominance gets rejected nicely here and actually comes and breaks its support here, whatnot, and continues its downtrend, because right now it is in this downtrend, then we could see a continuation of nice moves into crypto. All right, so I know today is a lot of information, but when you're looking at altcoins, it's not simple, y'all. It's not simple to look at altcoins. Yeah, DCA, my brother. DCA for the win. All right, lovely to have everybody here. Let me drop the next letter in the code. How are we doing for our likes? Let's push it. Smash the likes for me. I see the core crew is here, so no stress. No stress. Let's smash the likes. The next letter in the code is an H. I do believe the last one was X, right? Yeah. All right, so the next one is H. All right, and let me just remind the crew. Most of you know, I'm sure by now, but we're doing a giveaway with a poll. Best question on the content on this video wins the giveaway. All right, this video right here is a tutorial on the relative strength index. The best question on that content will win our giveaway. Oh, Tuffy's in the building. So Tuffy, I've been speaking about you quite a lot in this stream. We did shout you out as being, you know, pretty much the only signal provider that I would recommend. We also spoke about, you know, how you can use signals to build your confidence in how to enter and exit trades. And we also spoke about, of course, giving a man a fish, or teaching a man to fish. Of course, in this crew, we want to teach everyone how to learn to build their own trading strategy. But along with building your own trading strategy, you can learn to trade, of course, as well as making income through using signals. And Mr. Tuffy Calls is the only signal provider that I would recommend. Ahmed XM is also very good, but Tuffy Calls really focuses on constantly dropping beautiful signals, and his win rate, I do believe, is 100% over the last season. Like, it's absolutely crazy. Earlier I was saying if you're gonna trade, you have to get used to losses. Every crypto trader makes losses, but honestly, Tuffy Calls hasn't made a loss in the last season, and that is hecka impressive, brother. Well done, well done. Do I see Cam in the building? What's up, Mr. Cam? All right, so let's go. What I'm gonna do is actually drop Mr. Tuffy Calls link. Someone in the chat was asking for this link, and basically, look at that beautiful Jasmine trade. Interesting. TP1 hit. Well done. All right, but let me basically drop the link to the free group that allows you to see where the packages are, right? All right, I think it's this link right here. I'm actually going to drop it into the crew. And please don't just rely on signals, right? Use the signals, make money, let Tuffy make you the money. But please learn to trade also. Be in the academy and learn to trade. But here it is. This is Tuffy Call's official group. And that is where you can find the link to also pay for the premium. And it's literally the only group that I would recommend paying for, because the calls are insane, right? We've been working together, me and Tuffy, and look at these beautiful risk managed trades. Tuffy is killing it. And actually, Tuffy, I want to have some very serious chats with you about creating a signal group for my crew, about collaborating on a signal group. Giveaway for the premium. Oh, we'll talk about a possible discount because Tuffy loves me. We'll talk about a possible discount, but we need to support Tuffy, right? Tuffy works day in and day out to give us the best signals. So we need to support him, and you know what? His signal group is extremely affordable. you will make back your money on his signal group in the first week or so, if you're trading with it. Tough, really, my G. Okay, no more time to waste, right? We've looked at the market charts. It's time to get into altcoins. And Tuffy, I'm so glad you're here, right? So let's just take it step by step here. I want to first start out by looking at our XRP trade. And we're going to do quite a rapid move through the alts here. All right, we're going to look at the altcoin positions, and then for the altcoin positions that we need to really work on, we're going to look at the TA on TradingView. But for now, we're just going to have a look at the positions and see how they're doing. And this one I'm kind of confused about. So Tuffy, help me out here. What do I do here? You know, this is obviously one of my best positions. We've got a beautiful entry price. We're in a nice P&L to the upside, but I feel like the position is too small, right? It's tiny because we've taken a lot of realized P&L already. We're keeping our position small because we've got copy traders following with minimal margin. But do I add to this trade? And basically what I've been thinking is to put a limit entry basically right here. And maybe I should move it a bit up. We can see a very nice parallel channel that is occurring right here with some nice support. So maybe we should put our limit somewhere here. But I do want to add to this trade. The only problem is, of course, that if I add to this trade, my entry price will come up, right? We will get a less good entry price. And of course, what we could see here, possibly, is we could even see blood, in which case we would be able to get a better entry. But of course, XRP is so bullish. You know, we see the SEC literally dropping their case. Where is it? Here we go. The XRP drops their case. The SEC drops their case against XRP. I need to slow down. But what do I do here? Let me know in the crew. I'm not adding to my trade right now, basically because we're at textbook resistance. If we really do break the resistance and retest, maybe I'll think about adding on the uptrend. But what I'm really looking to do is add at this support. And maybe my limit is a little bit low down. Right, Tuffy, let me know what you think. Maybe I should bring my limit up to these wicks here to add to my XRP trade. Alright, there we go. The giveaway would be a little bit unfair, but a discount, there we go. A discount would be absolutely epic. Thank you, brother. We would all appreciate that, and you're helping this crew so much. You're helping me so much. Alright, Tuffy, what do we do here on XRP? But basically what I'm thinking here is that I'm going to bring my limit entry slightly up. Because what we're seeing is just massive buy liquidity in this zone. If we pull out a rectangle here, we can see that this is a liquidity zone where price does not really spend much time there. And I do believe that if XRP actually finds its way back into this zone is where we will get a nice entry back into our position. And we can see that usually we get a move through to at least the middle of this zone. So I think what I'm going to do is bring my limit entry a little bit up here. Tuffy, let me know if you think that is legit. I'm just going to bring my... It's hard here. Maybe I should set multiple limits, right? But we'll see. We'll see when this limit goes off. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring it up basically to the bottom of that wick there. Towards the bottom of this liquidity zone. Because if we come down on XRP, if we see major bearishness on the altcoins, I want to buy basically that support there for when we break this channel to the upside. Yusuf in the building. Welcome, welcome. Lovely to have you, and thank you so much everybody for being here. Please do smash the likes so we can do our giveaway. All we need is 50 likes for me to drop the entire code for the giveaway. So smash the likes. And of course, everybody, please do join my trading academy. That is where all of the beautiful giveaways, positions, setups, all of the heat goes down, right? Let me quickly drop the link. I hope everybody is in the academy. All right, there we go, XRP. Let's try and move a little bit faster. Let's have a look at Cardano. Right, we're also seeing a lot of bullish information on Cardano. Cardano has been named, of course, as within the new structure for the US crypto reserve, Cardano has been named as basically the asset that will be used for academic credentialization. So throughout the US, it is likely that on the Cardano blockchain, at all the Ivy League universities, when you get your degree, it will be a smart contract on the Cardano blockchain. This is one of the reasons why Cardano was built. And if you really are a fan of Cardano like myself, you will know that it's actually being used for this reason throughout West Africa, right? Okay, and as you can see here, we are in slight blood on our Cardano trade, but I have not added to my trade yet. Right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add to my trade at basically the bottom of this wick. You can see I've got my limit order in there. I'm very tempted to just add to the trade, but you know what? Let's be snipers. Let's be a little bit more careful here. We can see that we're actually breaking down, right? We flipped this support into resistance. It's looking a little bit bearish. I want to sweep up this level. All right, and let's move nice and fast. From Cardano, let's quickly check out the HBAR trade. Just want to check where I put my limit there. We're already 2 hours through the stream. We're going to move a little bit faster now. Quick view on XRP in my DM. Very nice. So Tuffy, what you can also do is drop into the Discord, right? Into live stream charts. So here is the Discord. And as you can see in live stream charts is where you can actually drop your charts so that I can show the entire crew what we're working with. But let me quickly check my DM. And thank you, Tuffy, much appreciated. Oh, that Jasmine short is juicy. And it looks like you're still round about, not too far from your entry, but TP1, nice. Okay, quick view on XRP. A nice entry around $2, then ideal entry around 1.9. Oh, sorry, 2.3. 2.2, 2.3, a nice entry. And then ideal entry around $2, $1.9. All right, thank you, Tuffy. Let me quickly go back. Let me quickly go back and see, and I'll drop 2 entries right there to add to my XRP trade. Beautiful. Tuffy helping the crew. Thank you, brother. Link to the Discord is in the description of this video. It should be in the description right at the bottom, the invite link to the Discord. ADA setup looks juicy. Thank you, brother. Ah, that is the confluence that I need to feel confident. And I love it. I love ADA. ADA is going to the moon either way. All right, so you said that 1.9 is good. Around $2, 1.9 is good. So I'm going to move it up a little bit there. And then you said there's another entry here around 2.3. Yeah, so basically if this is a new uptrend, we could just come down to that level and continue up. And then I might miss out on adding to that trade. So maybe I should add a small amount right there. I'm gonna bring my entry up by doing this. But quickly drop it into the Discord so we can show the whole crew. I will bring my entry up, but we've still got a nice entry here. So we're good, right? We're good. So I've said to add 4 contracts there, but maybe let's add a little bit. Basically you said here around 2.3, right? So we'll go here to the support. Don't rush. I think better for good setups. Okay, ideal entry. Okay, so we'll wait. We'll wait for that. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Tuffy. All right, let's go to HBAR. And honestly, I'm super impressed. I'm super impressed with HBAR. Like, how is this trade still in profit? Absolutely crazy. All right, we've got a tiny position. We're in profit, but our position's tiny. We've already realized most of our profits. So I really want to actually try. I want to try enter more into this position. And you can see here that I've just put my limit to add more right here at this support. This resistance, which should flip, right? If we lose this support, we should flip into resistance here. And Tuffy, let me know if you think I should add now at this support, to me this looks like pretty dead cat bounce-ish, right? Because first we see a major nice move from this level. Then we see also a nice move, but not as much of a liquidity on the wick. And then we see what literally looks like a dead cat bouncing. Bit of a dip. And possibly a swift move down to our next support. So my next entry here for HBAR to add to my position is 15 cents. Alright, I'm going to move nice and quickly here. Because y'all know we need to touch club, right? We need to touch club duvet. We need to touch grass in the club. Real fam in the club. Alright, let's go. Render. We're going to quickly look at all of the positions that we did put limits on. And then we're going to look at our new entries. Alright, so render actually, the position has been closed out. One of our positions that was stopped out of 2 out of 40. All good. This is why we have stop losses. We can see render has been absolutely destroyed, and it just shows how bad this altcoin blood is, because render is one of the most fundamentally bullish altcoins we have ever seen. I'm currently 56% down. And yeah, we can see that basically I've put a limit entry here for the next time that we revisit this support. It looks like we are in this continued downtrend, and if we come down to this level, we will open our trade. Okay, let's move to Athena. I really do believe in Athena. This is one of our altcoins which again is in massive blood. Extremely bullish on the fundamentals. You know, the staking, everything, but I mean, how crazy is this blood? I'm desperate to add to this trade, but I'm trying to be very careful here because it is one of our larger positions, and it is one of our positions that's in the most blood. We're still safe for our stop loss. We could see more blood for our stop loss, which is all good, but basically this is the level that I've put here to add to round about 26 cents. Have to be careful on this one because it is one of our larger positions. All right, from there, let's move to Avalanche. I'm going to start moving even faster through these positions. I just want to update everybody on what's happening here. All right, boom, another position in major blood, right? Target invalidated from our falling wedge. Falling wedge broke to the downside, usually bullish structure. This tells you, of course, do not put everything on a trade. Use your stop loss, etc. And here I'm just being very patient, basically for this kind of zone down here, all the way down at $12 to add to my Avalanche trade. Avalanche is OG, right? When altcoin season comes right, when alts come right, Avalanche will do well. It's one of our quickest blockchains, one of our best fundamentally bullish blockchains, and we can see here that it is in an absolutely gnarly downtrend. And I do believe that when this downtrend trend line breaks, we will see a nice bullish move to the upside. And I'm just going to be very patient here to add to my entry here. If we miss my entry, fine, and I'll be patient for when we come back above our previous entry. All good. All right, let's move to ONDO. This is an interesting one. And this is one that just shows, you know, it's been cool. It's been cool to be patient. It pays off to be patient. And here on ONDO, this looks like a juicy entry. So Tuffy, please let me know what you think about this entry. On ONDO, is this looking good? I mean, should I just open the entry now? Let's have a look at this previous trend on the Fibonacci. All right, so there was the golden pocket move. Beautiful. Very nice. And let's have a look what's happening now on Fibonacci from the bottom to the top. We're in the golden pocket, y'all. We're in the golden pocket. If we lose this golden pocket, it's not looking great because we got our first bounce there. We got our next wick there, and it's looking almost dead cat bounce-ish on the 786, which is not great. We might get the Elliott wave down to the bottom, which is where I've put my limit order. Tuffy, let me know if you think I should open the trade at the start of this liquidity zone, which is giving us this support, or should I be patient down to this level at the bottom? Still bearing until it breaks 0.9. until it breaks 0.9. All right, so until it breaks this. I see there, beautiful stuff. So until it breaks, basically where this, all of this major support came in, boom, boom, and where it broke down market structure there, very nice. 0.9-ish. Bearish until it breaks that level. So do you think I should open the trade? Do you think I should open the trade and add to it lower down if it comes lower down? Because of course I might miss it if I'm more patient here. If it comes up, tests this, breaks out, I might miss that beautiful breakout. But of course we could come down to see these lower levels. Let me know what the crew thinks. Please don't be too silent. Is everybody alive? Is everybody awake? How's everybody feeling? Give me 1 second. Need another drink for my throat. Something nice and cold. Who's alive? Is anybody here? Is anybody here? Who's alive? Alright, Ike is alive. Ike is alive. Tuffy, are you still with us? I'm very, very tempted to open this ONDO trade. Alright, so those of you who are here, confirm with RSI and stochastic RSI. There we go. There we go. Alright. Alright, so stochastic on the daily is basically saying no. Stochastic on the daily is basically saying be more patient and wait, because it looks like we're actually coming up to overbought levels, right? And really we want to be here. We want to be in this kind of zone if we're going to start our trade. And even our regular RSI, I mean, this is what is making me think that we could have already kind of seen the bottom on this coin, is because the regular RSI is showing us a bullish divergence. Right, so basically, you know, go watch the RSI tutorial if you haven't seen it. That's the last tutorial that I dropped. But basically what we're seeing here is this was the bearish divergence where we got a lower high on relative strength index and we got a higher high on price. And that was the start of our downtrend, and that was our bearish divergence. Do I see Mr. John in the chat? Huge shout out to our VIP relationship manager for Africa and Turkey and a few other global regions, and one of my favorite Bybit employees. Thank you for joining. And as you can see, a little bit more muscle than me. Welcome, Jan. Thank you for joining. So lovely to have you, and I hope to see you tomorrow, bro. Let's go hit that beach again. Let's go see some penguins. And you know what? Maybe we'll even hit the club tonight. But thank you for joining my stream, brother. Let me know what you think of the energy, and thank you so much for being here. So much love, I must say. Sure, it's few and far between for my favorite employees in Bybit, and you are definitely one of them, my brother. It's tough competition for the Bybit employees of who's my favorite, but yo, you are my brother. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is a bullish divergence, right? We are seeing momentum coming into the market. We are seeing a higher low on momentum while we are seeing a lower low on price. This is, of course, a bullish divergence. So let me know in the crew, do you think I should pull the trigger on this ONDO trade? I've been waiting months for this ONDO trade. I have been patient. The only thing that's really telling me I should be more patient is that the regular RSI on the daily did not actually enter into oversold, right? This was, of course, the best bull for the last trend. That was where it actually entered into oversold with decent amounts. That was where we got the last beautiful trade on ONDO of what? Massive 295%. You can see that I've actually set my limit entry for that exact same wick, because that would be the Elliott wave, right? That would be the Elliott wave theory down to that exact same level, which is the entire Fibonacci retracement all the way back down to the one level. But honestly, I'm quite tempted to start my ONDO trade now. Let's quickly see what market cipher B is telling us on ONDO. Alright, that's so awesome to have you in my stream, bro. Okay, Ike is still alive. If anybody's alive, let me know that you're still here in the chat. I love it. Alright, give me one moment, give me one moment. Alright, we're back, we're back. You want to hit the clubs tonight, Mr. Chan? Or are you saving your energy for the Penguins tomorrow? Alright, so this is making me super bullish. This is the ONDO chart right here on the weekly, and it's looking awesome for a trade. Am I right or am I right? If we look at major upward sloping support, that is where we are currently at. All right, keeping it for tomorrow. No stress. No stress. Get your sleep. Get your sleep. All right, and we can see, of course, this like beautiful expanding wedge, which is just super bullish for this asset. All right, even if we pull it down, I mean, it's crazy. That is really where our resistance is at. And if we pull this all the way up, we could be seeing a parabolic move here of mammoth proportions to the upside. This is really, right now, one of our best risk to reward ratios. And I'm thinking of opening this position with a very small amount. Yes, we might come a bit lower. Yes, we might fake out below here. But let's just have a look here. So here we see stochastic on the weekly is saying, bruh, go for it. It's saying go. All right, we're right down at this previous low level for stochastic, and we are threatening to actually cross the moving average. So this is looking like maybe a possible entry, right? Ideally, we want to really wait for where our stochastic crosses its slow moving average. We learned about moving averages today, and basically here is the slow moving average within the stochastic RSI. And what we're seeing here is that we could see a move up there and cross, right? If we go back in time, we can see that we saw multiple fake outs here of this stochastic. But really, we are below the previous lowest level that the stochastic saw on the weekly before the parabolic move to the upside. And this to me looks like a squeeze towards a breakout on our weekly time frame. And these are portfolio trades. These are weekly trades. Keep loading the bags and be ready to DCA. Okay, so what do I do here, Tuffy? Do I pull the trigger on this trade with a very small amount? And honestly, I'm happy to add to this trade all the way down to here. I'm happy to add at every single 15% drop. I'm happy to double my position. And we've done the fundamental analysis on ONDO. I'm not going to go into too much fundamental analysis today, because we've done ONDO fundamental analysis, right? We know it's fundamentally awesome. We know it's fundamentally bullish. Of course, do your own research. If you don't know what ONDO is, go to CoinMarketCap and look at it. And you know what? We're not going to do it for all the coins, but let me quickly show you what to do on every coin. You just go to CoinMarketCap to do your own research. You just come here to ONDO. You come to the coin, and the first thing you look at is it a large market cap? How much money is in this coin? How likely is it to be manipulated? And here we see that it is a mid cap, right? Because it is 2 billion. Small caps are below 1 billion. Mid caps are 1 to 10 billion. Large caps are above 10 billion, like your XRP, your Cardano, your Solana, etc. I only trade coins that are mid to large caps, right? Because I don't like being manipulated emotionally or in my trading. And then what we see here is, this is the one of the red flags, is that there's no max supply, right? I really do want to see a max supply. That means this coin is not deflationary, this coin is inflationary, but there are other really bullish aspects to it, such as right now the risk to reward ratio, right? We see our major risk being below the previous floor, and we see our reward being all the way up at $2. So from 82 cents, we are definitely getting a nice risk to reward ratio up to our all-time high. if you want to figure out your risk to reward ratio, you basically just take a long position, you pop it in from your current entry up to your all-time high, and of course, you know, our major targets are even above our all-time high. So we can see here that our risk to reward is looking good. It's looking decent. It's one of the best risk to rewards we have right now, and I'm thinking I'm going to pull the trigger on this. All right, and in terms of fundamentals, get to know your coin, right? We can see here that ONDO news 10 hours ago, let's go, ONDO news 22 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 1 day ago. This means that it is hyped in the news. This is an extremely good sign. This means this coin is relevant. And we can see there are yield providers. BitGet is giving yield, BingX is getting yield. It means they are growing in their staking providers. Be aware of the unlock progress. We can see there is still 38% to be unlocked. This could mean lower prices as people take profits on their unlocks from the IDO. This could also mean high volatility, so be ready for that. But the main thing I want you to look at when it comes to fundamentals is, of course, what is ONDO? And really, what are the real world applications? What is the technology? And you have to come here and do your own research. Something that I really like to do also is, of course, look at the white paper. And like a lot of the time you have to be a dev to understand the white paper. But what I'm seeing here is this is how a white paper should look, right? I want to see something technological. I want to see little things I can click on the left. I want to see nice, advanced descriptions. I'm not going to do this for every coin, but I'm just showing you how I do my fundamental analysis, right? So once you've seen that there is a nice looking white paper, you come to ChatGPT and you use AI to your advantage. You come to ChatGPT and you say, break down the ONDO white paper into one paragraph for a newbie to understand. And you can actually go and paste the white paper or any part of the white paper into there that you don't understand. But honestly, just click reason, keep your prompt really simple here, and then ask it. And it will tell you. Give it some time. Obviously, if you click reason, it will take a little bit of time, but it will give you a better answer because it actually takes a second to think. And there we go. Do your own research. Can be as easy as one paragraph. Don't be scared of AI, right? Use AI to your advantage. The ONDO white paper explains a decentralized finance platform. DeFi is the future of finance. This is one of the reasons I'm bullish on it. It enables everyday investors to access professionally managed institutional quality yield strategies in a transparent and secure way. It describes how funds are pooled and managed through smart contracts, which is literally the future. And you know the main reason for blockchain. All right, allowing for systematic, risk-controlled investments that aim to maximize returns. The document outlines key components like asset allocation, liquidity management, performance, and robust risk controls. It's all sounding pretty good. All designed to combine the rigor of traditional finance with innovation of blockchain. In essence, it offers a roadmap for leveraging cutting-edge financial tools. Beautiful. And you can even take it one step further. You can say, should I, of course, don't listen to this completely, right? But ask it, get its opinion, because this is the whole internet's mind at your fingertips. Should I open my 2x ONDO trade now or wait? And let's go, give it a second to reason. Let's see what it says. I shouldn't provide financial advice. All right, here we go. Look at current market trends. Is the momentum? Risk tolerance. Since 2x leverage amplifies both gains and losses, assess your risk. Check support and resistance levels. It really does not want to give me financial advice. Any recent news updates? It might help if you wait to see uncertain signals or set a clear stop loss. No, but like, tell me if I should enter. All right, all good. I think I'm gonna pull the trigger here. All right, so we've learned about ONDO, really cool. We can see a lot of technology. We can see a lot of real world application. What I really do like to see here is I like to see a part of this that tells us what makes ONDO unique. And I'm not seeing that here. This means that there are other coins that are doing the same thing, right? We have Sui, we have Pendle, which is another real horse in this race for, you know, like massive DeFi, institutional investment, like TradFi moving into DeFi. I love Pendle, super bullish on it. But you know what? This is how we diversify. We're in Athena, we're in Solana, we're in Pendle, we're in Sui. We almost in render with our limit order. If we diversify into all of these, you know what? They will all get their time in the limelight. And you know what? I think I'm going to open my entry right now on this coin, simply because of this bullish divergence right here, which could give us a move on this daily RSI up to the top. And also because our weekly stochastic is so low, right? These are my two major levels of confluence. So I'm just, for the Trading Academy, going to note the confluence for the entry, and that is the bull div on the daily RSI, and it is the stochastic in oversold. And I want to be very clear here, right? I'm starting this entry very small. There we go, Tuffy says it. There we go. I'm starting this entry small, so that if there's blood, I can double my position and bring my entry down. I'm starting 2x, minimum margin, minimum leverage. So I'm just making note of that. Small margin for DCA. Is everyone with me? Because we could go to the moon from here and I don't want to be left out. But we could also really go down to the grave. You know, down, if we put in our support levels, I could actually even set the limits right now for where I want to add to it. Because it's a weekly trade, you know, likely we'll have time to actually see us go down to those levels and add to the trade. But basically I'm going to enter now, and then these are the two major levels that I will want to add to my trade. And I really doubt we'll come this low. Alright, so let's quickly see where our stop loss should be. Let's actually bring our stop loss to, you know, pretty much unreachable levels, in my opinion, around about 14 cents. So there's a lot of blood there. Our main TP is high up at the top. When entering a trade, it's more important that you enter the trade with your stop loss, right? TPs you can always add at another time. How long will it be? How long? The stream. How long will the stream be? Yeah, I think we're gonna go for like another 30 minutes. We already are 9:30 in my time. All right, so I have my current limit set. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cancel this limit. I think we're gonna go for another 30 minutes. We're gonna try just speed through a lot of altcoins, but at least we're getting an entry here as a crew. I just love this support. I love the way this support looks. It's making me feel good, right? Always play from a position of power and strength. This is making me feel strong. It looks nice. It looks nice. All right, I'm gonna entertain blood here if we see it. All right, let's do it, let's do it. We're gonna go for our minimum order value that we can get on this trade. And this is where we'll see a confirmation of the breakout and the uptrend. Is everyone here? Is everyone alive? Let's go. All right, we're gonna do a market entry on an order value. I think the minimum here on the value on the 2x will be $6. I think the minimum is $3 on the 2x, that's $6. It's minimum margin, right? Especially because I have traders following me with very minimum funds, but also because we want to add to the trade if it comes into blood. All right, and make sure you add a stop loss with your position on the long. So on the long, you can just add your stop loss, and I like to just add it basically wherever, right? We can first just risk the first 100%, right? We can say, okay, we'll risk that. Arrive 100% at 60. Anyway, we'll just put it in there at now for 100. Should be $3, right? But anyway, looking good, looking good. Order value 6. Oh, it's because we're on a 10x. Always check your settings, right? We almost just effed up. Always check your settings. There we go. We're on a 2x. And now our order value. Now if we check our stop loss, right, we should see, there we go, 100%. We will risk the full $3. There we go, at a price of 41 cents. Confirm. All right, now we can go ahead and open the position. And now we have entered the position, looking juicy. Minimum margin, minimum leverage, right? And let me tell you the strategy basically that I use. So on a 2x, every 15% drop will be a 30% drop. in our P&L or our ROI. And then at every 30%, I will double my entry. And I don't set the limits there because of course I also rhyme that with our indicators. So right now our stochastic on the daily is telling us we could see literally more downtrend. And then if we're coming down in our P&L and I see the stochastic rhyming, that's where I will choose to add to the position. All right, very nice. At least we got an entry. Let's move, let's move, let's move. Let's have a look here. We're actually doing well. We're doing well, right? Who's here? Who's in the building? Pop me a message if you are here. And let's push for those likes. Come on, I want to do this giveaway. Y'all deserve the giveaway. So share the stream to your friends and your family. Ask them to like it so we can get to this giveaway. And if you are here right now, drop me a comment. If you are here, let me know that you are live. Ikumi, let's go. Oh, I can't wait to see you in Florence. Very, very excited. So I'll pop you a DM with that exact date that I'll be in Florence. Very, very exciting. And you're finally gonna get your merch pack. All right, so now I wanna look at Sui. All right, so here we see Sui 50% down over the last 90 days, which is the last quarter, which is the last season. So let's have a look at our Sui trade. All right, beautiful stuff. We've been very, very patient with this trade. And I think we're gonna continue to be patient here. And I'll tell you why on Sui, because Sui is still, well, it's 50% down now, right? Over the last 90 days. But if we look at the larger market structure on this, like it's still pretty overpumped. The thing that's making me kind of bullish here is, of course, weekly stochastic is also at the bottom. Like in general, we could see a move up from here. RSR short term, okay. Let's have a look. RSR, but that sounds like a low cap, right? I saw your move on Tensor, which was pretty cool. What's RSR? What is RSR? You're bringing me a new coin. Meme coins on Ton blockchain are pumping. What do you think? Interesting, interesting. I'm really, really bullish on Ton long term, especially because, of course, Durov's case is coming right. You know, he's been released from France, finally back to Dubai, which is awesome. Oh, so sweet. Let's go. Thank you so much, Iker. But no, you're going to get a really nice merch pack. The longer it's taken, the bigger the merch pack I have been building for you. All right, very nice. So we can see our patience is paying off here. And actually, I think I might want to pull the trigger on this too. I think I might want to pull the trigger on this Sui trade. Let me know what you think, Mr. Tuffy. I mean, this weekly stochastic is telling us stuff, right? But we can see here that weekly stochastic previously spent quite a lot of time in this zone with more downtrend. So that's making me think, you know what? Wait for a bullish divergence on the daily on Market Cypher. Because it actually looks here like VWAP is crossing down on the daily. Looks like money flow, looks like it wants to point down. We are not. Ooh, there's a bull. There is a double bull on the daily. Damn. Yeah. So this is a confusing one. What's happening on Sui, Mr. Tuffy? I know you're like more of a scalper, I guess. More of a scalper, but let me know what you think of Sui. And lovely to have everyone here. If you are new, please do sub to the channel. Smash that like button. Come on, let's do the giveaway, y'all. We're like halfway to the giveaway at least. Please smash the like button. Let's do a giveaway. Let me do the next letter in the giveaway. Which I do believe is the capital M. Capital M. Let's just do a little bit more. Let's keep going. Let's push it. Alright, so we can see here this bear gave us the nice dump. I mean, every single one of these daily bears gave us a really nice dump. I mean, this one was crazy. And here we're seeing the bullish divergence gave us a nice pump. And then this bull really hasn't given us much, right? What do I do here? Crew, help me out. What do I do on Sui? Alright, daily stochastic is not happy. Daily stochastic definitely wants to come down. It's like, how did I miss that last bull? Yeah, daily stochastic is telling me do not enter right now. Let's check if I still have that alert on Sui. Alright, I think we need to add the alert here on the bullish divergence. Out of Sui a long time ago, like completely, like not trading Sui or out of the short. So what do you think about longing this? I mean, this looks like this trend has to end. Right, this trend has to end at some point. This is like a beautiful, beautiful sniper line that we're seeing here. It actually looks like it's casually broken out, and it's either going to fake out here and fall back below, or we're going to get volume here and it's going to create a new market structure. We have gotten the double bull on market cipher on the daily. I think what I might do is just set... Oh, as an investor you're out. But maybe for midterm we'll look for entries and scalps. Nice. Did a 5x from that. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, so these bullish divergences are really where it's at. And what I could see here is actually another bull for a triple bull. Just like we got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 bulls here. Alright, I'm going to be patient here for another bull on Sui. I'm very tempted to start the trade because we are at good prices. Right? Thank goodness we did not start the trade up here, up here, up here, up here like some of our other trades. Right? We're learning to be patient because patience is really what pays. Alright, from the bottom to the top, we are at the golden pocket. Let's go. Alright, we could see a lower move here in the golden pocket. Okay, I'm going to set my alert for one more bull on this market cipher. So you just click on market cipher. I will be doing a tutorial on this soon. I'm just trying to get through the simpler stuff so I don't throw the crew into a complex indicator too soon. Alright, but we want to buy big green circle plus the divergence. And this is where we're going to long Sui 2x. Baby. Alright, let's pull out our expiration date. Always check that your alert is active. There it is. Alright, and on our log, we've gotten the add to ETH. We added to the ETH. Did we add to the link? Also the ENA. Oh my gosh. Serious blood. Avalanche dot. We did not open the LDO yet. Okay, we have to look at Solana. Right, Solana's also been in the news. The first Solana futures ETF hits the market. Absolutely awesome. So, I mean, this should be bullish for Solana in the long term. Like we have seen with a lot of these ETFs, it doesn't always cause too much bullish stuff initially. But of course, this is opening Solana up to a massive amount of institutional investors who were previously not able to buy this asset. And here we can also see that this does actually have a leverage, right? This is also a 2x that they are giving here. Does it say so here? There we go. Look at this. The volatility shares Solana ETF Sol Z, which will track Solana futures, and the volatility shares 2x Solana ETF Salt, which offers leveraged exposure 2x. So this is going to be good exposure because first the investors buy it, right? And they're not actually buying Sol, but they're buying a contract on the ETF. And then the ETF agent actually buys the Solana. So Solana does get bought. Dropped on your Discord on Sui. Amazing, brother. Amazing. So let's finish off here on Sui before we hit Sol. But basically right now my limit on Sui is set here at 1.52. And I think we did that because that's the bottom of the golden pocket. So I just put it at the 0.786 on the larger Fibonacci trend. And let me pull up the OG Tuffy TA in the Discord. Let's go. Oh, wow. And there was your view on ONDO. Beautiful. Man, dropping beautiful alpha. Dropping alpha for us here. This is how the live stream chart room should look. Oh, so this was a previous entry. Dang, bro. Dang, bro. This was a swing call in spot. Nice. But what do you think about the entry now? Alright, so that's where you want to go for ONDO. I'll set a limit to add there. But what's the call for Sui now? What's the call for Sui now? Are you just done? Are you just done walking away with your 5x? Absolutely beautiful. Look at those buys. Oh, let's go. Interesting stuff. So let me know if you've got an entry for us on our 2x there. And I see the crew is tired, but no stress. Let's do a little bit more. I think, yeah, for Sui, I'm just gonna keep my entry there at the golden pocket, at the bottom of the golden pocket. But let's look at Solana. Oh, not Solo. Sol. Alright, Solana, we've got a limit order a little bit lower. We're in the blood from major support. It's not the worst entry because once we actually test that as resistance and break it, we're going to go to give ourselves a very nice move to the upside. But yeah, I'm curious. I really want to enter this trade, but I think I'm going to be a little bit more patient here. I'm going to be a little bit more patient here because look how overpumped we still are on Solana. It's crazy. I don't even think we're near that golden pocket. Let's have a look. Come on, where's our Blue Man Chu? Alright, Solana is the beast. And we can see it actually broke its all-time high. Very interesting. Alright, Fibonacci all the way from the bottom to the top of this crazy trend. We see that we didn't even hit the golden pocket. So I'm going to be way more patient here to add to my Solana trade. I think my limit is here at the 0.618, 108. So my limit, my next add to my trade is just at the bottom of these wicks, and you can see that local top currently giving us support. Maybe I should move my limit add slightly lower. And let's see what we're risking here at our stop loss. Alright, currently risking 23 on the copy trading. I feel like we should add the stop loss a little bit lower, so that we can add to the trade, manage the trade, not sell at a loss. And then let's look for that larger golden pocket in case we see it. Massive. Alright, there we go. My limit entry is at the start of the golden pocket. Cool, solid. I'm going to leave it there. Is everyone alive? Who's in my crew? Who's in my crew? Let me know who's been watching from the beginning. Who's been watching from the beginning? Let me drop the next letter. Let me see. What was the last letter I dropped? What was the last letter I dropped? Okay, awesome. So the next letter is capital W. And let me know who's got the entire code. Do not drop the code. Do not drop the entire code into the chat. But let me know who's been here from the beginning. Who has the entire code. And let me remind the crew, the best question on this content that I'm dropping in the chat right now will also win a bonus in my Trading Academy, right? Best question on this tutorial. Alive from the beginning. Awesome. Abebe, beautiful stuff. Desmond, from the beginning. Love it. Well done, crew. Well done. Awesome stuff. Keep that chat hot. And push those likes, y'all. As soon as we hit 50, I'm going to drop the giveaway, the final letter of the code into the Trading Academy. So just share the stream. Share the stream until we hit that like goal. Because we got to grow the channel. We got to grow the channel, y'all. Tuffy's in. Beautiful stuff. MD is in. Love it. All right, we're doing well. We're finally moving. All right, let's move to TON. All right, this is a position that is still relatively small. So I'm glad we've been patient here, but I pretty much effed up, right? I pretty much slept on this one because my strategy screamed at me to add to the trade. All right, a lot of you know about my RSI rhyming strategy between the regular RSI and the stochastic. I will be making a tutorial on this, but basically to give you a bit of a breakdown, we look for first where the RSI comes down into our oversold. And then we wait for the stochastic to enter also. And then we wait for the stochastic to break its slow moving average. And that's where we get these awesome trades. And here we can see the regular RSI was in oversold. The stochastic entered. It broke its slow moving average. It gave us such a gorgeous entry. And I was asleep on this chart. That is where I wanted to add to my trade. So basically what I've done is I have just set my limit entry for that exact same position, so that if we come back down to that level, I will buy, because right now it actually looks like we're moving up towards our resistance. And we could miss this and break out, but all good. We do have a trade. It's not the biggest trade, but we have a trade. Yeah, and I'm tempted to add a little bit to this, but you know what? I have learned that on copy trading, above anything else, patience pays. Patience pays. This could very well be the bottom, because it's also showing us here that we are seeing a bullish divergence. Wow, we missed that too, right? We see lower prices, we see higher momentum. And let's quickly check on the market cipher B, the OG strategy. I'm sure it printed a bull, and yes it did. It printed a bull, and now it's actually given us a green dot. Interesting, interesting. VWAP looks like it wants to cross to the downside. Wave trend is also a little bit high up, right? We've got the green dot there, but I mean, wow. Bullish divergence, red dot, green dot. Look at that trade. Market cipher B, what a nice indicator. We can see money flow is pointing up. So in general, that is pretty bullish. We can see money flow is pointing up. But yeah, I know this is complicated, but some of you do know what I'm talking about. I will do more tutorials on this, but it looks like VWAP wants to cross to the downside, which would actually show a short. And it also looks like wave trend wants to print a bear at some point. We get this kind of higher high, lower high, bearish divergence. Wanted to ask about market cipher. Yeah, so I think that's a tutorial for another day. So what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start doing market cipher B tutorials. And I'm going to do each part of market cipher B separately, right? I'm going to do wave trend, bullish and bearish divergences. I'm going to do wave trend, trigger waves, which is the green and red dots. I'm also going to do VWAP. I'm also going to do money flow, but we're going to take it very slow because I just wanted to first do all of these other tutorials, right? As you can see, where's the, basically in the playlist of my crypto trading tutorials, we're going through everything, support and resistance, Fibonacci, RSI, fixed range volume profile, right? Today we did moving averages. I want this YouTube channel to be a university course, and you can't go straight into market cipher, because if you go straight into market cipher, it's all going to go over your head and you're just going to get confused. Trust me, it took me years to learn this indicator. And of course, once I use it, you know, you become more OG, but it takes some time. All right, we'll do it. We'll do it. MD. I started doing crypto because of Ton airdrops. Very nice. I also love Ton. You know, my trading academy is on Telegram. All of the Bybit communities are on Telegram. I love Ton. I also love, like, you know, Pavel Durov is like he's an activist against censorship. He's also a bit of a weirdo. He has like 100 kids or something crazy. Alright, I'm going to be patient here. VWAP wants to cross. Money flow does look like it wants to point down, although on the larger trend it does look like it's turning around, and it does look like it's at the last third of the pie. So in general, looking pretty bullish, but I'm going to wait for the VWAP to cross down and then up to the upside. I'm also going to wait for wave trend to reset to the downside before we get into this. So we're just going to have to be patient here and set our alert for this bullish divergence. And I think the next live stream, we just need to go straight into the next alts, right? The alts that we haven't got positions on, because it's crazy, or haven't set our limits for. Right. Because it just takes a long time. All right, let me know which altcoins y'all want to look at. Let's look at Link. Just going to be patient here on Ton. If we go to the moon, past my entry, happy days. If we come down, even happier days, because we add to our trade. The market type of B is really OG. It is 100% the best indicator on the market, and it's actually free. It's crypto faces, and it's the most profitable indicator that I know. The best traders in the world use it. My favorite traders, Jason Casper, CryptoFace. They are some of the only influencers that actually put their money where their mouth is and actually take the trades and actually make their money through trading. Most influencers just make money through affiliate links, but they are brilliant traders, and they've made it free. The version that I'm using is literally free. All right, Link is an interesting one. I love Link. I'm still super bullish on it. Where is it here? All right, Link is 38% down over the last 90 days. And it's literally at our entry. Very small trade. Very small trade, so I really want to add to it. Because basically what happened here is I took too much profits too soon from this trade. We had an awesome trade, and then I took too much profits too soon, and we went like parabolic up, and I had such a small trade. So now what's really nice is we are getting time to add to our trade. But what we're seeing is it might not be the ultimate time to add right now, right? It's this level we want to add to. When we come down to this rectangle here, okay, so what I'm going to do is actually set a limit order just in case we get big blood here on Link. I want to get this bottom level of liquidity down here at 10.3. Alright, so we keep the 2x. We take the order price of 10.3 and alright, let's add a nice minimum entry there. Remember to always click post only. In case you're in the spread, you do not want your trade to execute immediately. So there we go. Today we opened the ONDO. Just taking notes so I can drop them in the academy for everyone who missed the stream. And we added the limit for Link. Sure, and we managed the other trades, but all good, all good. So how are we doing? How are we doing? Crypto Cloud! Been a while, my brother and fellow master trader. How's it going? Lovely to see you in the building. Big ups, my G. Crypto Cloud, let me know what you think about the altcoins. Let me know if there's any altcoins you are eyeing. Crypto Cloud is an Ichimoku Cloud OG. That is his main indicator. And yeah, Link is looking for a breakout here from our position. And how crazy is this? How crazy is it that we open our position here? We get this parabolic run. Okay, we took profits way too soon, so learning all the time. But now we are literally back at our entry. Absolutely crazy. Link trade did not trigger. Interesting. Oh, did you have your trigger like slightly too low? Interesting. Nah, all good, all good. You can always recap Crypto Cloud. Better late than never, brother. We've done a lot of hard work, but you know what? We're still looking at the juicy stuff right now. And yeah, I'm just going to be a little bit more patient here. We're at our entry. It's not like I would be moving my position any higher or lower if I added to my trade right now. So I'm tempted. I'm really tempted to add to my trade. Because I don't want to go up and still have such a small position. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit. What do y'all think? Do you think I should add some and leave this limit here? Because this also looks like a nice bullish divergence. There's lower price. There's momentum finally coming into the market. Stochastic on the daily does look like it's really starting a downtrend. So I think what I'm going to do is just add another limit slightly lower. I'm going to add another limit like in the middle here. Right there at that liquidity zone. Around about 13. Alright, now I'm feeling good. Now I'm feeling good. Smash that like button. Let's go. Come on, let's get to that 50. Even if it's later tonight or tomorrow, share it to your friends. Let's do the giveaway. What was the last letter I dropped? Don't tell me, don't tell me. Let me find it, let me find it. Okay, awesome. We're almost at the end of the password, but I'm only going to drop the final digit in the password once we hit 50, right? And I believe, crew. I don't know what is wrong with these Korean guys with people's accounts. They hacked Bybit last month and they hacked my TikTok. How do you know it's Koreans that hacked your TikTok? That is so sad. Like, did you have 2FA on your TikTok, first of all? Please, everybody put 2FA on any account that is important to you. Did you have 2FA, Mr. Hussein? Unfortunately, UTA counts as me eating through bonus. So I'm trading using inverse perps. Hopefully the 1000 USD bonus from the price prediction money will come in. What? 1,000? You won $1,000. Congratulations, brother. And yeah, the liquidations on the UTA are real, right? So change your portfolio margin mode to isolated if you need to, or to cross. But the portfolio margin mode is gnarly. It is gnarly on UTA. And remember that inverse perpetuals will really make you your most money, right? Will really make you your most money in a bear market. Because if you long Bitcoin, using Bitcoin as your collateral, or ETH at a low level, using ETH as your collateral, remember that when it goes up, your profits will be exponential. And it's also good for shorting, because if you're taking profits at low levels and then it comes up, your profits move up. I like inverse perpetuals, very, very nice. Alright, let's move through towards the end of our stream. Thank you so much everybody for being here. We're going to do a little bit more. Alright, so let's see what's really in the blood here. PEPE, oh my gosh, like what do we do with PEPE? Like, is PEPE still worth adding to or longing, or what's happening? Oh, Costly hopping in, welcome, welcome, thank you for joining, lovely to see you. Put it today on my new account. Oh, no 2FA, my brother, it's an issue, it's a big issue, so everyone make sure you have 2FA. When I went to Singularity, the tech convention, they said that 98% of hacks are on accounts with no 2FA. 2FA literally cuts out most hacks. Costly's in the building. Everybody put 2FA on any account that matters to you, right? Put 3FA. Put as many 2FAs as you can. Alright, let's start with these altcoins right at the bottom. Like, oh my gosh, ENA is in the blood, but we looked at it already. So let's look at PEPE. How are we going to manage this PEPE trade? Oh, what is that? Okay, let's have a look at this PEPE. Looks like we're in a little bit of a golden pocket here. Oh my gosh, look at the blood here. We entered at the support, then the support was lost. We almost hit our stop loss. Crazy stuff. So the position's still quite small. So what I think I'm going to do here is add to the position. Let's quickly check PEPE. What's happening on the charts here on Market Cypher. Does this have to be 1000 PEPE? Market Cypher VWAP not looking great to add to the position right now. There was the last bull. So I'm just going to add an alert here for another bull. Buy big green circle plus the div. And this is where I'm going to add to PEPE. But it's almost like I should just do a dollar cost average add, right? Because I mean, we're so below our entry. We just bring our entry way down if we add to PEPE right now. And we've been patient, we haven't added to PEPE, it's still a small position, so I think we're okay to add to it. Well, like, is PEPE just not worth adding to? Is PEPE just done? So funny how ChatGPT didn't want to give me financial advice. That was so funny. But let's try again. Come on, give me an answer. Is PEPE just dead? Forever? Is PEPE coming back? Because if it comes back, this risk to reward ratio is looking amazing. But it does look like we're at resistance right now. Looks like market structure might be changing here. We seem to be getting some higher lows. Alright, let's look at massive Fibonacci retracement. Wow, 0.786. Golden pocket of the larger trend. Oh, it's a tough one. Come on, crew. Should I add to PEPE or not? So it didn't tell me anything. Doesn't want to tell me anything. Doesn't want to wreck people and give a bad name. I can't tell you what to do, but here's how you might think about it. Come on. Do the analysis for me. Diversification, plan and exit strategy. Ultimately, decision should be on your personal analysis. Risk tolerance. Oh my god, it really doesn't want to tell me anything. Alright, let's see. What are we risking at our stop? 12. So I'm going to bring the stop loss a little bit lower. And basically, because of the bullish divergence, it's not really a bull, right? Slight bull. Slight bullish divergence there. Oh, this is looking like I should just be patient, right? Come on, crew, what do I do? What do I do? Yeah, PEPE's a meme, so we gotta be careful. We gotta be careful. If I add to my trade now, it's gonna bring my entry like more than halfway down, which is really cool. Alright, so I'll set a limit a little bit lower. I mean, that's not looking good. If you look at this, this is actually a lower low, so that's not really looking good, because this could mean, well, I mean, there's still a lot of room for a higher low there, but this could mean downward sloping market structure. Trade meme coins, but investing not yet. One thing that I've seen from CoinFashions is investing in blue chip crypto. Much better, yeah, much better. All right, we'll check Doge. Yes, and Doge is a meme coin that I'd actually much rather, you know, long right now, because it's now the Department of Government Efficiency, which is cool. I'm just curious about this trade because if I add to it, my entry will come so much further down, and we are seeing this nice sniper line here. But I think the crew is saying I should be patient, right? Maybe I'll set a limit all the way down here. We'll just wait that one out. I don't think PEPE is dead, but we'll wait that one out. And I think we're almost done. We'll do a little bit more. Smash those likes if you are here. We're almost at least 3/5 of the way there. The number of people confessing on CoinFashions has made me a big fan of BTC. True, 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 true. I must check out CoinFashions. Interesting. Alright, let's look at POL. I mean, let's look at the things with use cases at least, right? Another very bloody one. Ooh. Yeah, this could be a nice entry. I just don't like how this is a lower low here. This is a bullish divergence for sure. It looks like right now we're actually hitting more downside. Okay, let's leave that one for now. Hype is an interesting one. Hype is a really, really interesting one. They're not doing well with their liquidity and their whale stuff hunts, their liquidity hunts and everything. Alright, render we set. A or B, let's look at. We'll just do a few more, and it seems like we just need another stream, right? We need a stream where we don't even look at Bitcoin at all, we go straight into altcoins. Because there's so many! Oh my gosh, A or B in the blood, look at this coin. A lot of coins have printed bullish divergences, but it's like, yeah, stochastic is not saying go now. ONDO Avalanche we spoke about. What about Uni? Uni I still believe in, right? It's still one of the OG places to buy new coins. Nice small position, so this one we could think about adding to. At least setting a limit to add to, so let's check it out. Because if we add to Uni, because we have a small position, our entry will come really, really far down, because we already took some profits there. Oh no, it's just been a small position from the start. What do y'all think of Uni? Do you still believe in it? PEPE will be back soon. PEPE will be back soon. I like it. I like it. So our last Uni trade from the bull was really nice. And I see here it's actually printed a double bullish divergence. Very nice. VWAP looks like it needs to cross. So let me just quickly show you here. So you see why this was a nice bullish divergence is because at the bullish divergence that printed there, do you see that VWAP? So if we put it here, you see that vertical line, like VWAP has just crossed up. Money flow was also pointing up at that time. Do you see that? So that means that it was a good bullish divergence. So just a little bit of learning there. Now we see money flow down. Now we see VWAP down. Not a good time to add to the position. Good time to set an alert and be patient for the next bullish divergence. Buy a big green circle plus the div. Very nice. Yeah, I do think PEPE will be back. That's the crazy thing, is all that it takes is like Elon posting another image of PEPE on his Twitter and it'll be back. So I'm tempted. I'm tempted to add to my trade because it'll bring my entry right down because it's such a small trade. I mean, it's like, how do we not, right? How do we not add? Like, how do we not long these lows? But anyway, we're being patient. We're being patient. Uni. Okay, let's look at Doge. And thank you to the crew for being here and managing my positions with me. I so appreciate you all. Alright, another very small position in the blood. We have a little bit of realized P&L. So it's very cool because we managed to realize some P&L from our trade. And now we can add that P&L back into our trade in the blood. And yeah, this is a coin that I think is going to do well because it's Elon's coin, right? And Elon is now completely in bed with Trump. And I think it's just so low down because of alt dominance, because of Bitcoin dominance. And when Bitcoin dominance finally kicks in, it's going to explode. But same thing, Stochastic is saying, wait a bit. I think I'm going to have to be patient here. Let's clean this up. I mean, it's not looking good. Like, why is it so bearish? When it's the Department of Government Efficiency, why is it so bearish? Like, was that all just hype that was completely just hollow hype? Alright, we have seen a double bull. Now we're getting a red dot. And basically we've seen the bulls give us pumps. So that's where a nice add could be, because then we can actually take some profits on the pumps. And VWAP is crossing down, so I'm just going to set my alert here. We're going to be very patient and diligent. Alright, and how's everybody doing? Are we still alive? I can't believe we've made it 3 hours and 10 minutes. Crazy stuff. I trust Doge more than PEPE. Yeah, no, 100%. I 100% do also because of this whole Department of Government Efficiency thing. There's at least something bullish there. And yeah, I mean, we've seen these golden pockets play out in the past. So if anything, it's this golden pocket here that we need to look at. And it actually looks like could be Elliott waving it. We're retesting that 786 to the downside. Not great. And it's just these altcoins are getting shaken out. It's crazy. Alright, just a few more minutes, y'all. We've looked at Sui. I mean, Tau. Sure, Tau, Near, VeChain, ICP. There are so many we still need to manage in the blood. These are the deep blood. LTC we still need to enter at some point. ADA is looking fine. Wow, so many trades we need to manage. MNT. Yo, Tau is really, really dark right now. Is anybody still bullish on Tau? I mean, this is gnarly. Managed to realize a little bit of P&L, and then from our entry, absolute devastation. So this one I really do want to add to, but it looks like it's just not the time to add to anything right now. Seems like everything's going to be okay, but we just need to be patient before we bring any entries down, right? Near VeChain. I love VeChain. I don't think we're in the VeChain trade yet, are we? Too many positions to even remember. Oh, we are in the VeChain. One of our smallest positions, around about $4. I'm gonna bring our stop loss a little bit lower so we can always add to this trade in the blood. And again, Stochastic is just not telling us it's the right time. So hopefully in a future stream we're gonna add at the right time. ICP I do want to add to at some point. Alright, ETH we did add to. RV, APT, Filecoin, all of these beautiful coins. DOT, all in such heavy blood. Alright, let's just look at one or two more. And let me know what you want to look at. Oh, Tuffy said RSR. Okay, so DOT is looking pretty good. Still not a time to add because of stochastic RSI. But it's looking juicy. I mean, DOT was one of our better realized P&L trades. Very, very nice. And now we can see we can take some of that realized P&L and throw it in during the blood. Nice small position. So I think for DOT, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a limit order in here. Bring our stop loss a little bit lower if it will let us. Nice. Always check what you're risking when you move your stop loss. $5, all good. And what I'm going to do is, I love DOT. I really love DOT. It's one of the most OG coins. And yeah, we realized nice profits above our entry. So basically we entered around about here. We realized beautiful profits. And actually the major learning for me through all of this, right? Copy trading is just, it's the place where you don't just learn how to trade, right? You learn how to trade with strategy for followers. CryptoCloud can attest that it is such a learning journey, and it's a life journey, honestly. But basically what I've learned is that, you know, I should be shorting as well. Like, we should have taken all of our profits here, and then at the bearish divergence, we should have actually shorted this coin. But always a learning, right? Always a learning. We took our profits on the way up, and now we're back below our entry, so at least we can add our profits back into our trade, which is nice. Stochastic is telling us don't do it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add my limit entry to add to the trade right at the bottom, at its current bottom, right at $3.8. Because DOT is really one of my higher conviction plays in the long term, right? Remember to always hit post only. And yeah, this will be a nice one because our position is really small now. So I'm almost doubling my margin at this level, which will mean if price is here, my entry will come all the way down to here or here, which is really nice. And then we can see a nice move to the upside. Right, so DOT's looking good. True that. Bro, if you thought trading was hard, oh my gosh, try to be a master trader, right? CryptoCloud knows. Yo, you learn to deal with panic and fear as a trader with your own money. And then you have everybody messaging you, whoa, where are my profits? Oh. And you learn to be a Buddhist monk of the highest order. All right, XLM, let's do it. Let's first check where it is. So XLM is quite high up in consideration, right? It's still 24% down, but if you consider the rest of the top 50, it's doing really, really well. And it's actually like these parts of the stream are my favorite parts of the stream, like right at the end of the stream, right? Where we're just chilling. Like we're chilling with the peeps who are just here to chill. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love it. And thank you, crew, for being here. I so much appreciate you all. And please do share the stream. I see we're doing well for likes, so let's push. Let's push to that 50. All right, so this is a trade that, again, I do really want to add to because I do believe XLM is going to do crazy things again. We were a little bit late on the trend to add to this trade. This kind of bear flag, whatever this was, did not break to the upside. Right, it broke down. But all good, we got a tiny position here. We've got really nice realized P&L. This was, again, one of our best trades. And now what we can do is, because our position is so small, when we add our realized P&L back in the blood, we're going to see our entry come right down. But because stochastic is high, it's not the right time right now. Also, RSI is in the middle, right? That's a one-armed bandit. You do not add to your trade when RSI is in the middle. You do not open a trade. You do nothing when RSI is in the middle, because that's when the coin is literally at its fair value. But I do want to add to XLM. I really do, because I mean, this thing trends. XLM breaks out and it trends. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. It's really one of my favorite coins when it comes to the chart. Because look at this. I mean, everybody thought XLM was totally dead. And I've said many times before, right? Sideways is good. On a coin, sideways is good. When a coin goes sideways, it means that the whales are accumulating. So if we look at this channel that happened for so long, all that this tells us is that the whales were selling here, buying here, right? Selling a bit here, buying here, selling here, buying here. And then their main accounts go into such massive profits when it breaks out. And the reason I'm going to be very, very careful here is we could see a move back to that zone. Right, we're only risking $5 at our stop loss right now. We've already realized much more than that, so we cool. I'm gonna bring it down slightly more if we can. But just keep in mind, like, we could come back down to the grave on this coin. If we look at larger Fibonacci here, which we always need to keep in mind, I mean, that's really where I want to place my next limit entry here to bring my entry down. Again, when we are adding to this trade, we will actually be adding more than our position. We'll be doubling our position. When you double your position, you bring your entry more than halfway down, which is really nice. And again, just like most of the altcoins, right? We've seen this in previous cycles where we see the sniper line. When these sniper lines break, we see beautiful trends to the upside. It's just a matter of how long it takes. All right, for me, it's all about Fibonacci. Love this track. So nice and chill. All right, so there we go. We see that we got our last nice bounce from the 0.618. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add my next limit entry at 0.786. And if you wanna see the exact amount at the 0.786, you can bring it to the side. On TradingView, it shows you. So what you can do is actually just get a horizontal line and you drop it at your 0.786, and you can see also, you know, that's a liquidity zone, very nice, and we can see that's 0.187. That's where I'm going to do a limit order. And this is the management that needs to take place. This is what takes so long to manage these positions, but it's so important because the high likelihood here is, of course, that we're going to break this resistance level at our entry and go up. But we don't want to just go up from there, right? That'll be nice profits, but whatever. We want to bring our entry down. If we come further down, we want to bring our entry all the way to here so that we get profits from an even lower level. And of course, we might not hit this level, but if we do, we want to add to our trade. All right, 0.187. Do our minimum on the 2x, post only. Boom, there we go, limit order added. That's what I like to see. All right, we'll do 8 more minutes, y'all. We'll do 8 more minutes. Is anybody still alive? Is anybody still watching? Please do smash those likes. Share the stream to as many people as you can. We only need 20 more likes for the giveaway. And there's only 2 more letters in the giveaway, right? I'm only going to give the last letter. And this time I'm not going to give the full password when we hit 50. I'm only going to give the last letter. So it's really for you peeps that have been here with me. This is who the giveaway is for. And this time the giveaway is for 2. Alright, so the second last is a 0 in numerical digits. Right, so I'm just going to put there 0. Another 8 minutes to the finish line. Like Nelson Mandela says, it's a long walk to freedom, right? Alright, and let me remind the crew one more time. This tutorial right here, I want to see your comments. Right, I want to see your questions. The best questions on this tutorial will win a prize. And we'll do the poll in the community. Alright, I'm so proud of the crew for sticking around. Well done everybody. And Tuffy, let me know if I've been doing anything absolutely crazy or if everything is looking good. And yeah, let's just push on for another few minutes. We'll do a 3.5 hour stream, yeah? And then what I'm thinking, let me know how the crew feels about this, but I'm thinking of maybe starting to do 30-minute streams like way more often. 30-minute streams like once a day if I can. What do you all think? Should we try it? Should we try it? 30 minutes where we just hop on, we look at the charts, we chat, we look at the positions, and we hop off. Done. Every single day. Alright. Help me out. What do you want to look at here? We've got so many still to do. I mean, sure, Filecoin is a nice one. Like, Filecoin has real fundamental use cases. Like, storage is everything, right? Everything's getting bigger. Let's try it. Nice. I might start one playlist which is just for like daily live streams. Wow, nuts. How is Filecoin in such blood? Is anybody still bullish on Filecoin? Look at this risk to reward ratio. I don't know, peeps. I don't know, but this is looking nice. Filecoin is looking nice. Unless there's anything extremely bullish on the, bearish on the fundamentals, this looks like a position that we need. All right, we got a 1.9 billion cap. No max supply, but risk to reward looking incredible. Last market cycle, we hit $185. We are now at $2.9. So like, why is this coin so dead? Is it just a coin that needs an alt season? Why is this so dead? We see Binance doing staking, BitGet doing staking, BingX doing staking. No unlock events currently available. Oh, what makes Filecoin unique? Filecoin aims to store data in decentralized manner. Unlike cloud storage companies like Amazon or Cloudflare, which are prone to the problems of centralization, Filecoin leverages its decentralized nature to protect the integrity of data's location, making it easily retrievable and hard to censor. I mean, I like this. I like Filecoin. Like, how is it this bearish right now? I mean, they're likening it to ICP, DOT, Link, but really it's quite unique. We don't really have any other storage coins. Decentralized storage system that aims to store humanity's most important information. I just like this coin. Is it just me? I just like this. And I'm seeing unique stuff. All right, when was the last news about Filecoin? It's been a while, right? Okay, 6 days ago. File and FET approach falling wedge resistance. Could breakout spark a recovery. Interesting. I mean, a recovery would be nice, right? Filecoin is in the grave. But what I like about this is the risk to reward ratio. Alright, that's 2024, so that's not bad. I mean, this just looks so good. I mean, we haven't seen an actual bull run here on Filecoin for ages. We'd need to go to another chart to see, but basically it did this, right? So our risk to reward ratio right now is like insane. In the membrane. Cypress Hill vibes up in here. Our stop loss can be, somewhere here. We're looking at a 1 to 30. We're looking at about a 4,000% to all-time high. And in an altcoin season, that's what happens. Coins go to all-time high. And remember what we said. Which coin was it? It was XLM, right? Remember when I said, I always say this, sideways is good. Sideways is good, y'all. This is whales accumulating this coin. And this is support on the sideways. Yo, I think I'm gonna pull the trigger on this one, y'all. Whales are accumulating, it will explode. I'm thinking, bro. I'm thinking this. For how long? Big dreams. Let's go. Welcome. Bro, I don't even know. We've been here for 3 hours and 28 minutes. But we're not doing 7 hours tonight. It's touch club duvet, touch grass time. One long live stream is better. Interesting. So I think I'm still gonna do long live streams on the weekend, right? But I've learned from my OGs like Sheldon Sniper, right? He live streams 30 minutes every day. All right, let's have a vote. Let me know if you want 30-minute live streams every day. I see already 2 votes for yes, 1 vote for no. But yeah, I think this is like looking like Filecoin trigger time. And we've got a nice bull. We can see the last bulls gave us pretty nice moves. Ike says yes, nice. Big Dream says yes. Let's try it. Love it, bro. Alright, I'm going to try up my game. And for those ones, I'm going to come in like super unprepped, right? I'm going to come in, we're going to hop on the charts, we're going to analyze the charts as a crew. Of course, I always have things to bring, I always have things to say. But it's going to be every day hopping on, analyzing as a crew, and that's that. Alright, I'm going to stick to my guns here, right? Sideways is good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull the trigger on this position on Filecoin. And the reasoning here is sideways, whale accumulation, right, as well as support of the weekly channel, as well as risk to reward ratio of 1 to 30 and the 4,000% plus take profit. And of course, bullish fundamentals, right? Let's go. This looks like a banger trade, y'all. Stochastic is saying wait a little bit. But you know what? We got to enter the trade at some point. I guess if anything, I could put my limit order down at 2.5 instead of entering at 2.9. But it's okay. It's going to be a tiny position to start. Yeah, VWAP is going to cross down, money flow is pointing down, everything's looking a little bit down from now. But very likely what's going to happen here is we'll get wave trend come down and give us another double bull. If we see the double bull, you know, usually that's where the trend likes to turn around. So I could be even more patient here and just wait for that double bull. But I think it's okay to pull the trigger with minimum margin here. Should I be even more patient on this? I mean, how much more patient can we be? We could set a limit order there, or we could set our limit order here. But I think let's pull the trigger on this one. It looks like we're likely to get something like this. Chip, 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 swap. I think this is looking cool. Let's do it. Minimum margin, minimum leverage, always with a stop loss. I always like to just start with my stop loss at 100%, and you can always change it once you enter, but you always want to enter with the stop loss, mostly for higher leverage. But just because maybe you enter, right, and then your internet goes down, Russia attacks, and the internet goes down. But yeah, this is looking like a bottom if I ever saw a bottom for a coin. This is just lovely. And this is what long analysis does, right? This is what 3 hours on a stream does. It finds these OG entries. I love it. All right, beautiful. Let's open the long, and then let's check if we're happy with the stop loss. So what I'm going to do is actually bring the stop loss a little bit further down, just so we give ourselves a decent amount of room. I think we could definitely see 70% down here if we see major blood. Always check what you're risking when you move your stop loss. We're currently risking $5, all good. And I'm moving the stop loss so we can manage the trade if we see the blood. But this is looking like we're going to see actually, this does look like a nice move is incoming. Alright, beautiful, beautiful, lovely. We got a new position, y'all. Thank you for joining the stream, everybody. This is called analysis, not paralysis. Love it. Alright, y'all, I think it's time to hop off, right? We've had a little bit low views tonight, low likes. It is Friday night, but no stress. All good. Try to share the stream afterwards, and try to do me a favor. Once the stream closes, once the live chat closes, try to comment on the stream for me, because that will push the algorithm, and that'll help us reach that 50 likes. And as soon as we reach that 50 likes, I will drop that final letter in the code. And don't try to guess that final letter in the code and get the giveaway. I guess you can. Ika knows some sneaky strategies there. But yeah, we'll drop the final one there. And congratulations to the winners. I know I've got winners here, which I owe some beautiful giveaways to. Well done, Ika. Well done, Husseini. I know there are a few more, and I will be sending those out within tonight or tomorrow morning. Right? You will get your giveaways, and congratulations. I'm very, very proud of this crew. And I love to give. That is my favorite thing in the world. All right, so I think we've done very, very well. Let me drop one more time, right? It is this right here. Right here, this is the tutorial where the best question, we'll have a poll for the best question on the content, will win a giveaway. Right, and congratulations to all the winners. Like Husseini, you've been killing it. You've won like 3-4 giveaways already. Ika is also killing it. I think this is like a second or third win that I'm going to send you soon. Well done, everybody, and thank you for being here. Let me know in the chat box who's here till the end. And please do drop me a comment once the stream closes. Once the live chat closes, drop me a comment and let me know anything, even if it's just something funny. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Remember, I am going to drop a new tutorial this week on the fixed range volume profile. Then I'll drop the moving averages tutorial. I'm also going to be dropping a fun reel on diamond hands, right? What it means to hold crypto with diamond hands and not get burnt like paper hands. So keep your eyes out for that. Of course, help me out, share it, like it. And of course, please remember, always play from a position of power and strength. Use your stop loss and do not get wrecked. So much love and respect to the crew. Oh, Mr. Tuffy calls. So much respect, my brother. You can see the smile on my face to be here with my family. Thank you, everybody. Remember to touch grass this weekend. So much love and respect. Goodbye.